Pasadena, California, the Big Ten champion Ohio State Buckeyes meet the champions of the Pacific 10, the Trojans of USC. Hello, everyone. Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen, and a happy and healthy new year to everybody across the country and around the world.
There's no question it is going to be a great year, Dick, and we're glad that everyone out there is sharing this first day of it with us.
This is the rubber match in this series. It goes back 38 years. The Pac-10's won 19 times, the Big Ten 19 times. This is the most common rivalry. USC and Ohio State, they've each won 3 times. And to break the deadlock, well, the Buckeyes bring some beef.
Boy, they bring some big horses up front. They're going to ride the backs of a big offensive line today. Jim Lachey, All-American, among them, and they will be making room for the best back in the country. And there he is, stepping forward now, Keith Byers, and believe me, he'll open your eyes if you haven't seen him play.
Keith Byers at 41 is significant. He's 41 yards away from a Big Ten rushing record to break Archie Griffin's mark, and he can catch the ball as well.
A great receiver as well as a runner.
So Keith Byers, he's the headline performer. He led the nation in rushing, and he led the nation in scoring. Number 41 of Ohio State. And the USC Trojans, they have some All-Americans on defense.
Well, they certainly do. You match up when you put great linebacking against the running game. SC's front 7 is tough at the point of attack. They match up with 2 All-American linebackers, Dwayne Bickett, number 80, and number 52, Jack Del Rio. We'll keep our eyes on them as they try and stop Byers.
Well, they've had their eyes on Keith Byers for the last couple of weeks. That's been in the locker room. Wanted to win the Rose Bowl. They'll have to stop Byers, and very few in the Big Ten this year were successful at doing that. And, of course, SC counters with a 1,000-yard rusher of their own.
They have Freddie Crutcher, and they've been famous for the running game for years. They're going to try and get their people on the field and do some damage with their offense.
Crutcher, number 49, he doesn't have the speed nor the size of previous USC tailbacks, but he knows how to get into the end zone. Crutcher for USC, and Byers, the great runner for Ohio State. And of course, the pageantry and color of this magnificent day prior to kickoff, already the Grand Marshal and the Queen of this pageant have made their parade around the Rose Bowl, something that you remember fondly.
I remember it well. An exciting moment for me, Dick.
We'll kick it to the scarlet and gray of Ohio State, the Buckeyes in white, and the man who will return the kickoff is the All-American Byers, number 41. You just saw a scoring fest in Arizona, the Fiesta Bowl won by UCLA 39-37, and it was Byers in that game last year that returned to kick off for a touchdown. What a day in Southern California, here in the Arroyo Seco, Pasadena, with the San Gabriel Mountains offering their fantastic backdrop. The conditions could not be more perfect.
Dick, that football field is absolutely as pretty as any you would ever see. And for those of you who are wondering, no, that is not a painted green. That is green grass, and it's growing. It's a fast track. And both of these teams, we talked a great deal about the running game. The passing game may be equally important. We'll get into that as we get into this ball game, but there's weakness on both sides for these teams in the secondary.
Steve Jordan will kick it off for the Southern California Trojans. Byers, number 41, is deep, along with John Woolridge, 25, the other tailback, and it will go into the end zone for the touchback. So they keep it away from Byers to start the game. Now here comes Mike Tomczak and the Buckeye offense. In front of him will be a huge offensive line that features 3 all Big Ten performers. Loudermilk the center, Lachey the guard, and Kurowitz the tackle. All Big Ten. Zielinski and Maggs complete the front 5. Mike Lanise, all Big Ten wide receiver, the freshman Chris Carter, and the tight ends Ed Taggart. With Tomczak the quarterback, Byers and Barry Walker behind him. First down from the 20. Tomczak to throw on first down, and plenty of time over the middle. 36, the freshman Chris Carter from Middletown, Ohio. Well, Merlin, you hinted that that's the soft spot. Both teams have a lot of youth and inexperience on pass defense, and Tomczak takes advantage.
Tomczak looked at his tight end all the way back across the field, could not get him open, and looked downfield then to Chris Carter. Carter getting a lot of room, and SC's defensive backs give you extra room in there.
And Tomczak to throw again. To this side to Byers. And the big running back, look how tough he is to bring down. They still don't have him down, and have the USC defense there to finally get him stopped at the 45-yard line for a gain of 9 or 10. Let's check the Cardinal and gold defense of USC, featuring 2 All-American linebackers. Up front, it'll be Luft, Colorado, and Moore. Del Rio, 52 and All-American, and Bickett, the other outside linebacker, number 80 All-Americans. But Hope in the middle leads the team in tackles. Bigger's the other inside man. Jackson and Haynes at the corners, and Tyler and McDonald at safety. McDonald considered the best of the 4 deep backs. Second and short, Buckeyes at their 45. Byers first carry, and he has a huge hole. 45-40. He could go all the way. Keith Byers knocked out of bounds at the 5-yard line.
Exactly what they did not want to have happen. SC's defensive coach wanted to make Ohio State work their way down the field a little piece at a time. Instead, Byers pops through on a power play off the right tackle and explodes into the secondary. And you see him, he's been called a tank with speed, and you see it right there. Looking from ground level, you see that huge hole opened up. Karowitz coming in from the outside, doing a great job of blocking.
Tim McDonald saved the touchdown. This is Walker, the fullback, and he's to the 2-yard line. Down at the bottom of the pile as they dig free Sam Ano, 56, and Neil Hope, 54. Second and goal for the Buckeyes, trying to get on the board quickly. We played just a minute and a half of this 71st Rose Bowl game.
We've already seen some of their explosive weapons. Byers, that we talked a great deal about. We've seen Chris Carter. We saw Tomczak throw the ball. So it's off and running.
They go with the 2 tight ends. Walker and Byers in the eye. Oops! Missing the count was the right tackle, Karowitz. Number 73, senior from Toledo, Ohio.
Both of these teams are so pumped up about being in this game that you're going to see some mistakes. You're going to see some errors, and that's a costly one. Down inside the 5, that's a costly one.
Dead ball, illegal procedure on the offense, still second down.
I'm sure what they were doing is going on the first count, and quite possibly there was a signal barked on the SC side. Defenses do that quite often. It sure got Karowitz off sides and cost him 5 yards there.
That's a lot of momentum, too. 282 pounds of right tackle. It's second and goal. Byers blasting inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. A good defensive charge by the Trojans, spearheaded by Ano, 56, and 52 Del Rio.
We've talked about strength on strength. The nation's #1 rusher, Keith Byers, he's going against a defense that probably defended against the run better than anything they did during this past year. They're number 8 in the country against rushing defense. Only one man with 100 yards against them during the year.
That was Gaston Green, and you folks just saw what he can do, the UCLA freshman, as he tore apart the Miami defense in the Fiesta Bowl. Well, Tomczak wants to be sure. He'll chat with Earl Bruce when we return. It'll be the Buckeyes at the SC 4-yard line. 12:17 left in the quarter. That's a story, at least the preface of this Rose Bowl game, the strength of the Buckeye running game against the defense that is so difficult against the run for SC. And here's the challenge, 3rd and goal at the 4. Byers and Walker behind Tomczak, 2 tight ends, and that's Carter in motion. He wants to throw. He's in trouble. And it's incomplete. So the Trojans have held and forced the field goal attempt. Brett Moore was the man who pressured Tomczak. And Jackson had coverage on the intended receiver.
Ed Taggart, the man that Tomczak wanted to go to in this situation, running the play action pass. The threat of the run, dropping back then to throw the pass, but no one open. You might note that Tomczak is healthy now. That leg broken in last spring practice, and in fact in the final game in spring practice, has hindered him throughout the year, but he is healthy now. We'll see him running today.
Rich Spangler, 20-yard field goal, and he kicks him straight away, and that one's good. Officially 21 yards, but Ted Tollner, the coach of the Trojans, applauds the defense after a 50-yard run by Byers. And first and goal for the Buckeyes. They have to settle for 3.
The 1985 Rose Bowl is brought to you by Hilton. When American business hits the road, American business stops at Hilton, America's business address. By your Toyota dealer and the all-new Corolla GTS with its scorching Sweet 16 valve engine. By exceptionally smooth Michelob. Where you're going, it's Michelob. And by the John Hancock Companies. John Hancock, we can help you here and now, not just hereafter.
12 minutes remaining in the first quarter. The Buckeyes, on a short field goal by Rich Spangler, have taken a 3-0 lead, and now SC to receive the ball for the first time. High end over end by Spangler, and that's going to be too deep for Albert Watts. He takes the touchback at the 20. By the way, the 50-yard run by Byers, certainly not a Rose Bowl record. Mel Anthony of the University of Michigan back in 65, 84 yards for the record. Tim Green brings on the SC offensive unit. Up front will be Cox at center. Briegel and Halleck are the guards, and Fitzpatrick and Rutgers an all Pac-10 tackle. The wide receivers are Norman, who has caught a pass in 22 consecutive games, and the speed Timmy Ware. 2 tight ends will be used, Cormier and Boyer. Green at quarterback, Pola the blocking back or fullback, and Crutcher the 1,000-yard runner. Crutcher on first down, and he is met smartly after a 1-yard gain as the defense of the Buckeyes, led by Fred Ritter, 90, and Chris Spielman, 36. Here is that defensive unit. Giuliani at the nose. Morrill and Crecelius complete the front 3. Lee, Johnson, Pepper Johnson, 98, leads the team in tackles. Spielman, a freshman, and Cummerow. Rogan and White are 2 freshmen at the corners. Hill and Gordon at safety. Second and a long 8. Crutcher again to the 27, 3 yards short of a first down. Crecelius, an academic All-American, 97, made the play.
Looking back at that lineup, 2 people we like to highlight. They both wear number 11. Green, the quarterback, not expected to play much this year, and he is Green. He's very volatile. Some days he has streaks that are hot, other days he falls apart. On the other side, Steve Hill, who's come in to replace Terry White, who was left at home. The 11 is supposed to be lucky, but it may be unlucky for one of those gentlemen today.
Well, here's Green, 11, pitching for the first time, but Crutcher breaks a tackle inside for a first down to about the 34. Very nearly caught for a loss, but he turns it into a 7-yard gain as Darrell Lee, 95, who grew up right in the shadows of the campus in Columbus, Ohio, made the play.
Well, number 11, Green, looking outside, left-handed quarterback, drops it over the top. Crutcher gets a hold of it. He knows what to do with it. He gets tackled before he gets back to the line, but dives forward for the first down.
Grew up within walking distance of the Rose Bowl. Went to Blair High School, did Crutcher, here in Pasadena. Pola, 35, 40, and Kennedy Pola has what appears to be a first down at the 44-yard line. Kennedy Pola, born on November 22nd, 1963 in America, Samoa, and named after John Kennedy, assassinated on that birthday. Pola is 6'2" and 230.
Dick, they said when the nurse came in and to report on the birth of their son, she also told them about the death of Kennedy, and in honor of the slain president, he was named right on the spot.
It is a first down for the Trojans, so they have back-to-back first downs, trailing 3-0, 10-21 remaining in the first quarter.
And they've just helped Steve Hill, number 11, off the field. I don't know whether he was shaken up on that play or dumped on the ground, but he has come off to the sideline.
And that injury comes at a weak spot already with Terry White, the top deep back, left at home for disciplinary reasons. Now Hill injured, so 3. Jim Palmer has replaced Hill. Green off play action. Down the middle, Norman, first down at the Buckeye 37. Hank Norman, the junior from Long Beach Valley High School, has the first reception of the day, and that's 23 straight games that Norman has caught a pass.
Norman been expected to be the big gun in the offensive show today. If they go to the air, right here, long strides, gets in the seam of the defense between the two defenders. Excellent job. Green is a left-handed quarterback. He drops here like a right-handed quarterback. Now watch, right at the end, he shifts over to the left side to throw. A lot of wasted motion in that drop.
First down, Crutcher hit hard as he crosses the 35-yard line. A short gain before Dave Morrill from Centerville, Ohio, the defensive right tackle, can make the stop. 3 yards for Crutcher. He played in this stadium 5 times, the Rose Bowl, did Crutcher in high school. His team never winning here. And there's the all-time list. What great runners for SC. White, Allen, Davis, Ricky Bell, O.J., Mike Garrett, Clarence Davis, and Crutcher 8th on that list, and he's a junior. Only Pola this time behind Green in a passing set. Throwing open down the middle and incomplete to the tight end, Joe Cormier, junior, number 85. Sonny Gordon on the coverage for the Buckeyes.
SC will use what they call an H-back or a Z-back, and that is Cormier, number 85, coming in motion from the side, from the wing, even out of the backfield, trying to confuse the offense, but not difficult these days for defenses to pick that up. They see a great deal of that. Cormier, though, is an excellent athlete. Did a good job of getting open on that play, but Tim Green unable to reach him with the pass.
SC will go with 3 tight ends in this set. Boyer, Cormier, and 89 Eric McKee. That's Cormier in motion. Incomplete to Cormier. And so the Trojan drive has stalled. Let's see if they go for the long field goal. Yes, they will. Steve Jordan comes in. His longest ever, 53 yards. Number 42 on all the helmets of the SC players in memory of Ricky Bell. Tragically passed away at the age of 29. Finished second to Tony Dorsett for the Heisman back in the 70s. There's Bell, his wife, and his mother are here at the Rose Bowl today to cheer on the Trojans. It's a 51-yard chance by Jordan. It is good! So the all-time record place kicker at USC, Steve Jordan, the senior from San Francisco, nails a 51-yard attempt, and we have a tie game.
Jordan, the 3rd kicker in a row for SC from Reardon High School, behind his brother and Eric Kipp, and he nailed that one soccer style, dropping comfortably over the bar. And does that make the young man happy?
He's in the record book. That's the longest in Rose Bowl history, breaking Steve Horowitz's 48-yard field goal in 71.
One reason why Duracell batteries last so long is because we're always improving them. In fact, today's Duracell batteries will last up to 20% longer than the ones we made just 3 years ago. To do it any other way would be, well, the tail wagging the dog. Duracell, the copper top battery. When it comes to making them last longer, we never stop.
When you've got a long way to go, it's nice to go with a friend. The 1985 Toyota Standard Bed truck toughened up this year with more horsepower than ever, so you'll know it can carry its share of the load. The new Toyota Standard Bed truck at only $59.98.
Friend, you're worth twice the price.
The struggle for power.
You're true.
The desire for wealth.
Behringer's will be ours.
The men of Behringer's want it all in the 90-minute premiere of Behringer's Saturday.
Again, a Happy New Year from Pasadena. One of the things, whenever you meet Merlin Olsen, that impresses you immediately is the size of that big paw of his, and yet you were impressed earlier this week.
I shook hands with Keith Byers, and Byers' hands are bigger than mine.
That's hard to
Now,
believe.
his feet are size 14. Now, I got him by one size there, but his hands are bigger, and that's one of the reasons he's such a great receiver. Just that ball just disappears into those big palms of his.
Well, he has the hands and feet ready down at the goal line for Ohio State. as Jordan, who has just set a Rose Bowl record with a 51-yard field goal, will kick it off for Southern California. 8:52 remaining in the first period. It's to Woolridge at the 3. And he avoids disaster after the bobble and is able to get back to the 15-yard line.
This is a game of excitement, and the first excitement of the scoring kind for SC, of course, on that long kick from ground level. You watch that ball up, and look, just nips its way over the top. 51 yards. I think it could have been good from another 5 out, Dick. He puts a foot into that one.
Well, Jordan's father, Bernard, who is Scottish-born and taught his sons how to play soccer, has to be proud of the way he delivered that soccer-style long boomer. It's tied at 3. Ball at the 15. Byers. At the 15, he gets a yard or two at best. 97. Brent Moore, a junior from San Marin High School up in the Bay Area, made the hit.
Artie Gigantino, the defensive coordinator for the SC Trojans, said we have to do 2 things to stop Byers. We've got to be tough right at the point of attack. A lot of people flying to the ball, but we can't over pursue because Byers is so good at cutting back against the grain.
Both wide receivers to the left, Lanise way out to the left, and Chris Carter, the freshman. Second and long. Fake to Byers. Wide open on this side is Carter, the freshman, out of bounds at the 24-yard line. That'll be close to a first down. Carter, from a very talented family, number 2. He's from Middletown, Ohio. That'll ring a bell for you long-standing Ohio State fans. That's where Jerry Lucas grew up and then went on to the Buckeye campus. And Carter's brother, Butch, elected to go to Indiana, where he didn't play football. He played basketball for Bobby Knight, and an All-American he was, and still starring in the NBA. Chris is only a freshman, 6'3" and 184.
The thing that impressed me in watching him in practice is he has tremendous body control, just great coordination and balance.
3rd and 1. Guess who is behind Tom Zach? There he is. Byers fighting for the first down at the 26. Keith Biggers, number 17, in on the play for the Trojans. So the Ohio State fans located down to our left at the far end of the field from where the play is currently, waving the pom-poms. That great Ohio State band serenading this huge crowd in Pasadena as Tom Zach has them out of the huddle. Woolridge in the game, and he has speed and blasts all the way to the 2-yard line. First down. Woolridge, a junior from Akron. 17 yards for him on his initial Rose Bowl carry.
Looking back from the end zone, you'll have a chance to feel the explosiveness of that play. Number 25, John Woolridge, backs up Byers at that tailback spot. And believe it or not, Dick, he has a cracked vertebrae, and he's going to have surgery after this season is over. Actually, a disc problem, and they'll go in and fix him after this season is over.
He's rushed for 613 yards this year, a 5.8 average. Gets the call again for short yardage to the 45-yard line. Dwayne Bickett from nearby Glendale, California, an All-American linebacker, led the team in tackles behind the line of scrimmage, 9, and had 6 sacks this year. Made the tackle for Southern California. Woolridge comes out after a couple of carries, and Byers is back in. Tied at 3, midway through the first quarter in Pasadena. What a game in the Fiesta. UCLA 39, Miami 37. Tom Zach a lot of time. Now he's flushed out and throws the ball away. Mike Lanise was the nearest Buckeye as pressure coming from Bickett.
Bickett very quick and agile in on top of quarterback. You see him looking to the sideline now. The Ohio Buckeyes send their plays in from the sideline, usually with the wide receivers. Glenn Mason, their offensive coordinator. Oh my, what a sight. Oh, isn't that beautiful?
That's why the folks, and I can speak personally, that grew up in the Midwest dream about their team coming to the Rose Bowl and somehow managing to make the trip themselves. The parade, the game, one of the great days in America. Third down and long. Tomczak in a crowd, and he's intercepted. Number 54, Neil Hope has the ball, and then he fumbles.
I think he lateraled that ball. Neil Hope, elected as the team's most valuable player and most inspirational player in this season. That's the first time ever for an SC player to have both of those honors in a single season. And in spite of the All-American honors by 2 outside linebackers, you see Hope right at the top of your screen. Just saw his feet there. Watch him coming back now. That ball badly thrown by Tomczak. That ball came out of his hand, didn't go anywhere near where he wanted it to go. I think this was a lateral, Dick. We're going to watch the end of that play now. But I believe that Hope tried to lateral that football right at the end. I don't think it was a fumble.
USC takes over the Buckeye 45-yard line, and they come out with a reverse to Jimmy Ware, and he has blockers. 45-40, and what a block at the 33-yard line. Dave Morrill made a good defensive play. When that set up, they had 4 SC blockers on 2 white jerseys, and didn't get more. It looked as if that might be a touchdown.
One of the things that Ted Tollner mentioned to us when we talked to him earlier in the week, he said, we're going to have to throw some tricks at Ohio State. He said, we don't have enough offensive firepower to stay with the basics of the game. There's one of the tricks, and it was successful in its first outing.
That was Ryan Knight, the freshman tailback, handing off to Ware on the reverse, and he picks up 12 yards and a first down at the 33. Crutcher back in the game. And he's down to the 29-yard line. Pepper Johnson. Thomas Johnson from Detroit, Michigan. Ask him how he got his nickname Pepper. And number 98, the All-Big Ten linebacker for the Buckeyes, said, well, when I was a kid, they made fun of me because I made a mistake. I was eating cereal and I put pepper on it, and it's stuck ever since. He's made a few back knees during the course of this year as he led the team in tackles.
You saw him getting the defensive signals from Bob Tucker, the defensive coordinator on the sideline, and making sure that everyone got lined up in the right defense.
Second down along 5. Green to Crutcher. SC running left and near a first down. Morrill again made the defensive play for the Buckeyes.
Crecelius on the left side, a little more active than Morrill, and they've gone over there quickly a number of times, trying to run that power off tackle. Crutcher is not a blazing burner in terms of speed, but has learned to adjust to the blocking and to pick his holes. Vision so important for a tailback, especially when he lines up as deep as SC tailbacks line up. Look how far back from the center he is.
He's a good 8 yards back. It's 3rd and 1. It's Cormier in motion, and Crutcher goes right and has blockers. He has a first down at the Ohio State 16. Jim Palmer made the tackle. Kennedy Pola, 37 in front of Crutcher to throw a lead block.
There's nothing sophisticated about the basic SC offense. They blast the ball up the middle. They power the ball off tackle, and then they'll sweep the ball with a little toss right here. This is the toss play outside. The same play that's been run for years by this great Trojan offense. And right here, Crutcher does the job well enough to pick up a big first down on the 16-yard line.
It's tied at 3, 4:20 left in the first quarter. The Trojans on the drive. Here's Pola, the fullback. Little misdirection that certainly did not confuse the Buckeye defense. Chris Spielman from Massillon, Ohio. That mecca of football talent. Earl Bruce found him there, and now he's a starter for him with Larry Kolick leaving the team at the end of the year. Spielman, familiar face. He's one of those Wheaties cover boys on the Wheaties boxes.
He had a frustrating freshman year, had ankle trouble. Both ankles sprained during the season, but he's healthy after the layoff, and he is an exceptional player.
2nd and 10 for the Trojans. Pass situation, but they go to run to Pola, and the big fullback powers inside the 10. He is 6'2" and 230.
SC doing a good job of recruiting among the Samoan population here, and they do make great fullbacks, strong and totally without fear. Pola just stuck his nose upfield and said, pull me down. Come on, come and get it.
If that name is familiar to those of you in the East, yes, his brother Al is a linebacker at Penn State. 3rd and a long 3. Crutcher. A flag is down, and so is Crutcher short of the first down. Sonny Gordon came up from a safety spot to make the play.
Toller with the sun directly in his eyes. You see that's his ready list in front of him. He's using it to shield his eyes, but he has listed the plays by down and distance that he wants to run today.
Penalty flag apparently against the Buckeyes. That'll please Tollner. Gives USC a first down at the 5.
Offside, the defense, first down.
The officials, a mixed crew of Pac-10 and Big Ten officials. The referee, Springer, is from the Pacific 10 Conference, and then they alternate as you go down the list, Pac-10, Big Ten. First and goal for SC, trying to break the 3-all tie. Crutcher. Oh, is he met? Solid hit by Anthony Giuliani, number 59. Talk about the fireplug build. He's around 5'11" and 248, senior from Westerville, Ohio.
You've got to have great inside-out pursuit to shut down that kind of play. But again, you've got to be careful that you don't over-pursue. If you do over-pursue, Crutcher will cut back against the grain. Giuliani very important in that way because he has to kind of maintain position with that back as he moves to the outside.
Green has a man open. Touchdown. A team that scored only 4 times through the air all year strikes in the first quarter of the Rose Bowl. Green to Cormier.
Look at the Jim Green. Boy, he is pumped up. And Cormier from that Z-back position or H-back position trying to cover him with Gordon the Rover. They couldn't hang on to it. Comes down with a touchdown.
Jordan's try for point is good.
Joe Cormier coming from a wing position now in motion. Now one of the defensive backs moving out. You see number 7, Sonny Gordon, and he got bumped into really by one of his own men. One of the outside defenders coming back inside. Little roll by Green. Again, the left-handed toss. No chance to defend on the play.
And that makes the head coach of the Trojans, Ted Tollner, more than pleased. The Trojans have the lead for the first time.
Boy, it's great to be on vacation.
Yeah, and we never go on vacation without Hertz.
I wouldn't risk my vacation with an unreliable rental-car company.
And Hertz affordable weekly rates save me money.
But people say Hertz is more reliable.
But now, Hertz costs less money.
Arnie, more reliable.
Less money.
Arnold, more reliable.
Less money.
Hertz Affordable Florida, only $79 a week. Now the rent-a-car company that gives you more is less.
Less money.
Boy, they let anybody in this place.
She's got to lighten up.
That's me, in front on the left. Some things change. Some things don't. Like my brokerage firm all these years, E.F. Hutton. Today they've got 0 coupon municipal bonds. They grow at a fixed rate, so you know exactly what you'll get when you need it. Tax-free. They call them 0 coupons. But it's the same sound advice Hutton has always given me and my family. And while some things change, oh, some things don't.
When E.F. Hutton talks, people listen. They've gone eye to eye on the grass of Wimbledon, the red clay of Paris, the hard surface of the U.S. Open. Now for those special few, there is a new challenge to conquer. The Challenge of Champions. Just the beginning of January's Champions on NBC Sports.
The 2 most frequent visitors since World War II to the Rose Bowl. Ohio State trying to even its record at 6 apiece, and Southern California, more than any other team in the nation, has been here on this January 1st Classic, 17-6 for SC. In fact, they've often considered this their second home when recruiting young athletes in this area. But neither team has been here for 5 years, so it's a new experience for everyone on the field today. Woolridge will not run it out. Touchback at the 20-yard line. Well, the time of possession with Neil Hope's interception leading to a 45-yard drive in 8 plays. Green to Cormier for the touchdown. USC's had the ball for over 10 minutes and Ohio State for just over a couple of minutes of this first quarter. Here's the 6'6" touchdown maker, Cormier.
He's got to feel very good, that whole SC sideline, at least at this far in the game, they have had things their way, Dick.
Now Byers going to try to change that, but he draws a crowd again, and it's taking 3 or 4 tacklers to bring him down, but all of them seem to be right there at the point of attack.
Working in behind that huge offensive line, and we mentioned them earlier. They're about as big as any line you'd ever bump up against. Look at the size of these offensive linemen. For Ohio State, the average 6'5" and 269, and SC is even bigger, if you can believe that, in their offensive line, 6'6" and 265.
We'll see the Steelers in Miami on Sunday in the Orange Bowl. Neither team will have those numbers.
Neither team can match that, Nick.
Roman Bates, number 28 in the game for the first time, running back for Ohio State. But it's Byers with a call, and again they surround him. 92 Colorado on top, but he had plenty of help underneath from Neil Hope.
The stress for the SC defense this week has been quickness. Get those tailbacks before they can really get started. And so far they're doing a good job of getting penetration and getting a hand on or an arm on or a shoulder on those big tailbacks before they can get their speed and momentum up.
Figures to be a pass situation for the Buckeyes. Tom Zach completed over 58% of his throws this year, 9 of them for touchdowns. Lenise in motion. And the hit made at the 27-yard line is going to be short of a first down. Mike Lenise, academic All-American from Mayfield, Ohio, is drilled by Rex Moore and Tommy Haynes, and the punting team comes on for Ohio State, and that's a story in this game as well. Tom Tupa, number 19 for the Buckeyes, a freshman from Brecksville, Ohio. He and the Buckeyes had the best net putting average in the nation this year. 44 yards a kick net. He averaged 47 a kick. So the combination of a strong young leg, Tupa, and great Ohio State coverage as the first quarter comes to an end. The score here in the 71st renewal of the Rose Bowl Classic. SC 10, Ohio State 3.
The essence of hitting. George Brett.
Some guys say it's the rhythm, reading the pitch. For me, it's a feeling that says I'm going downtown.
The essence of shaving.
This is Atra by Gillette. It pivots so the twin blades stay on your beard longer. But what Atra is all about is the feeling that says you just got Gillette's best shave.
Gillette, the essence of shaving.
There's a style in your life no one could ever deny. You're on your way to the top, and along the way you've always known just who you are. Where you're going, you've always known it. Where you're going, it's Michelob.
Where you're going, it's exceptionally smooth Michelob.
Where you're going, it's Michelob.
When they put a heavy load on your shoulders, there's nothing like having a friend you can count on. The new Toyota electronically fuel-injected 1-ton truck. It'll carry over 2,500 pounds. And with an optional towing package, you can pull up to 5,000 pounds. The Toyota 1-ton truck.
Thanks, old buddy.
Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Welcome to the second quarter in Pasadena. Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen. Southern California leading Ohio State 10-3, and Tom Tupa, the freshman All-Big Ten punter for the Buckeyes, will kick for the first time. Tommy Haynes, a Buckeye fan himself as a kid. Jack Tatum, his idol, will return for USC.
He's back there to return because Darrell Hopper, who did that most of the season, injured with a knee injury in the final game against Notre Dame, and that hurt not only the punt returns but also the secondary for the Trojans.
You saw Tupa lick his fingers like a quarterback. He is a backup quarterback. Did not throw from punt formation this year, but sometimes coaches save surprises for the bowl games. Not this time. He drills it.
Not a good kick, though. A line driver.
Haynes at the 28-30 and steps out of bounds. They'll mark it around the 37-yard line, and we have a timeout just into the second quarter in Pasadena. 10-3 USC. In 1969, the Rose Bowl game featured an incredible run, 80 yards by the magnificent Trojan tailback O.J. Simpson. It was the second quarter. Kurt Gowdy made the call, and we're going to share that moment with you when we can.
First down now for Southern Cal on their 20. They're ahead 3-0. Zoggy pitching to Simpson. 25, 30. Look out. He runs 109-4. They won't get him. He's being convoyed in. 80 yards for O.J. Simpson.
A few months ago, something new burst on the American scene. The Toyota Camry. Experts were impressed.
Peppy performance with fuel economy. U.S. News and World Report.
And it's got room.
Technical tidbits and thoughtful touches. Car and driver.
And it's got room.
A landmark vehicle. The Christian Science Monitor.
The 1985 Family Camry from Toyota. Boy, has it got room.
Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
At Wang, we make computers that not only enhance individual performance, but work in harmony with one another and compatibly with our competitors to bring out the brilliance in all. Wang, we put people in front of computers.
First quarter statistics. Ohio State with that long 50-yard run by Byers out rushing USC and out passing the Trojans, but trailing 10-3, and Green on first down from the 37, throwing long for Ware. Actually cutting in front of Ware was Hank Norman. He was closer to the ball. Ware, the deep man, was open.
Sonny Gordon, the rover, back in the middle of that rosy country back there, trying to work one-on-one. This is not something that the Ohio State defenders have done well during this season, but Gordon on that play doing a very fine job of shadowing Norman, who is a very fine receiver.
I don't know who Green was throwing for. It's closer to Norman, but there you see Ware coming in the picture, and
I think that'll happen quite a bit today. Green is not the most accurate of passers, Dick.
It's 2nd and 10 from the SC 37. Crutcher toppled at the 39 after a gain of just a couple. Dave Morrow makes another tackle for Ohio State. We pause briefly for station identification. Happy New Year from Pasadena on the NBC television network.
This is WNBC TV, Channel 4.
Dick Enberg, Merlin Olsen.
Yes, I think it is.
Write that down for me so I can remember. 14-18 remaining in the second quarter. Ohio State trailing USC 10-3. A Neil Hope interception led to a Trojan drive for the only touchdown. That one scored on a pass from Green to Cormier, and Green to throw. Down the middle has a man. Ware. Timmy Ware, first down at the 42 of Ohio State. Jim Palmer made the tackle.
Timmy Green swinging back, and as badly thrown as that earlier pass was, this one was right on target. Zipped it down the middle. Chance for you to see it at home. Ground level. Throwing right almost into your lap. Timmy Ware with excellent speed, good hands, cutting across to pick it up.
Ware, a senior from Compton Centennial High School. And that was a bullet by Green. We saw him practice the other day, and he didn't throw a spiral the whole afternoon. The toss to Crutcher. Not quite able to turn the corner. The lateral action defensively by Ohio State. Sonny Gordon made the tackle. Well, one man who didn't make it to the Rose Bowl as a player in the Pac-10 was Oregon State running back Bobby Moore, but he's here today, Ahmad Rashad. Ahmad is down on the sidelines, and apparently we have a little problem with communications, but we'll visit with him shortly. 2nd and 5, USC. Green. Now he's scrambling to the 36-yard line. Looked as if he had a screen set up, Merlin, over on the right side, but couldn't find the man to throw it to and picks up a yard as Persilius made the defensive play.
Morrill squaring off with one of the Trojan offensive linemen. Emotions pumping a little bit out on that field. Dick, it was interesting to me the way these two teams were prepared. Ohio State kind of easy in their practices, didn't wear full gear. SC really popping. It doesn't appear to have had a great deal of impact on the style of this game so far.
Third down and call it 5. Green overshoots his man. He had Norman open over the center, but too tall for his favorite target, who led USC in receptions with 38. A flag is down. Now we understand that the former Oregon star Ahmad Rashad is with us.
All right. I finally made it here. Where'd you get that picture? I thought I destroyed all of those.
You were 9-9 with the hair and 9-5 without it, I understand.
I had to get the haircut so I could play wide receiver. The intensity level down here is incredible.
Ahmad,
go ahead.
Ahmad, were those high tops you were wearing in that picture?
No, they weren't. But, you know, I can't believe the size of some of these guys. When I was in school, none of these guys were half this big. I see why now that I got out of football. These guys are getting extremely too big.
Well, I know that you're thrilled just to be down on that Rose Bowl turf. You were excited 4 hours before the game today.
I had fun down here because, you know, the key to a big game like this, the memories you take on with you are the ones you get in the warm-ups. Because in the warm-ups, you can run as fast as you want to run. You can jump higher than you've ever jumped. And then the reality sets in when the game starts. But those are the memories you take on with you for life.
Ahmad will be with us. He'll have interviews with the Stars after the game. A penalty marked against USC has forced them back to 3rd and 22. That takes them out of field goal range.
Face mask called it.
Green.
There's a duck.
4th string defensive tackle of the Buckeyes was the closest to that pass. And the punting team comes on for USC. That means Troy Richardson, number 99. He averaged 39 yards a kick. And Troy named because his dad is a big USC fan. Said Troy seems to fit quite right. He said, I never had a chance. If I was going to go to college, I was going to go to Southern California. Mike Lanise is back at the Buckeye 15.
Late drop by 2 extra defenders. Good kick.
It is a good kick. And USC grounds it at
the 3-yard line. Roy Richardson doing his imitation of a skywalk, a moonwalk on that one. Kicked perfectly downfield. SC had people in position, and look how quickly they get on top of that ball to down it.
45, Paul Green made the play. Timeout with 11:59 remaining in the first half.
McElroy. You don't have to be a wizard to know that the Toyota Tercel is one of the surest ways to get from one place to another with more room inside than any other subcompact.
I'm not afraid.
The 1985 front-wheel drive Tercel, Toyota's lowest priced car. It's got what it takes to get you where you want to go, even if it's just somewhere over the rainbow.
Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Plug in a cartridge, move a mouse, and paint a picture on a computer. But don't settle for black and white when you can paint in living, sparkling color. Anything in color. The Towers of Oz, the Treasures of Atlantis, a geology report, an annual report, a people report. The computer is the IBM PC Junior. The program, the new PC Junior Color Paint. See them both at a store near you and draw your own conclusion.
Dick, as you look out into this crowd, I know there are probably a lot of people here who've been saving all year for this opportunity. You did your graduate work at Indiana. Did you have dreams of coming out here as an undergraduate?
But those years at Indiana, all you dreamt about was the start of the basketball season. But it's true. Many people have saved throughout the year. You root for your team, and, you know, some way as a student or as a fan, you'll find your way to Pasadena. There are thousands here who have made the trip, and I know many watching out across the nation today that have been here in Pasadena to recall what a great day this is, starting with the parade in the morning. Keith Byers wants to please those Buckeye fans. He has a 50-yard gain, but since then, he has drawn nothing but short yardage and a lot of Cardinal uniforms.
One of the most important matchups on that line of scrimmage, and you have to win down on the line of scrimmage. Colorado 92 against 63. Kurt Loudermilk. Loudermilk sliding to the outside. There they are. You see their positions right in the middle of that line. Loudermilk on Colorado. They'll be going tooth and nail all day today.
From his own end zone, Tom Zach. Plenty of time. Now he throws long for Carter. Broken up at the last moment by Tim McDonald, number 6.
Tremendous concern on the part of the SC coaching staff for the results if they have to get into a passing contest. They're concerned about their coverage people. Didn't have to be concerned on that play. Tim McDonald staying one-on-one with Mike Lanise, and he did a good job of timing his jump to knock that pass away.
McDonald led the Trojans in interceptions with 4. Earl Bruce, in his 6th year with the Buckeyes, graduated from Ohio State in '53, was a football player but injured as a freshman, and Woody Hayes wouldn't let him quit school. He said, "You stay here and get your degree. We'll find a way to work this thing out." Of course, Bruce now ultimately the replacement for the great Woody Hayes, head coach with the Buckeyes. On 3rd down, Byers to the 10, but he does not get the first down. And again, gang tackling with Rex Moore, a freshman, number 35, leading the charge.
Both teams substituting their people freely. They want to keep fresh bodies on the field. And you see one reason for SC's eagerness to do that. Moore, who's gone in at a linebacking position, and another freshman, a great freshman linebacker on each side. Spielman you saw earlier for Ohio State, and Moore in there on that play, but a lot of Trojans in on that tackle.
10 men on the line of scrimmage for USC. One man back, Tommy Haynes at the 45-yard line. Tupou will punt from inside his end zone. Short again.
Not a good kick.
Haynes up to the Buckeye 45 and down at the 42. So Tupou, highly heralded with the best net punting average in the nation, actually outkicked by Troy Richardson so far.
Well, both coaches were concerned about that matchup, expecting it to go to Tupou. Has not done that so far.
Timeout. 10:22 remaining in the first half in Pasadena.
Ambition. It's the fuel that drives American business. Ambition. It's the energy to go the distance. Ambition. It's the will to win. Ambition. It's the force that makes Hilton America's business address.
Dinner X versus Head and Shoulders.
On this side, I can feel a tingling sensation, and this side, there's not much happening.
Look what you used.
Denerex.
Unlike Head and Shoulders, Denerex adds an extra anti-itch medicine and conditioner, too.
Goodbye, Head and Shoulders. Hello, Denerex.
Bill Evans can't breathe. Would you try Dristan long-lasting nasal spray?
I'll try anything.
Can you breathe now?
Yeah, I think so.
Prove it. Prove it to yourself. Dristan goes to work in seconds, lasts all day.
My roommate claims my presence during overtime games may be hazardous to her health. She exaggerates. I've matured. But being an ex-cheerleader, I've still got a lot of that old razzmatazz.
This season, come home to college basketball on NBC.
A bit after 3 o'clock in the afternoon in Southern California. A beautiful day and lots of lovely faces at the Rose Bowl. USC leads Ohio State 10-3, 10:22 remaining in the second quarter. First down after the punt, and Crutcher with a call. Spielman trailing the play, 36, made the tackle at the 39-yard line. Next, the big and bright bowl from Miami, the Orange Bowl, and it may well decide who is number 1. I guess that still is in doubt, as you've heard in the poll taken by NBC. There are some members who will vote on the AP panel that would be influenced by a big Oklahoma win and would vote for them over BYU. Some say it's all locked up for the Cougars of BYU, but at least in some minds that carries considerable significance tonight. That game with Washington and Oklahoma. Everyone's forgetting Washington's in that picture too. Crutcher, not much at all, a yard at best.
Crutcher on the right side.
I know that Bob Costas will be filling us in, bringing us up to date on exactly what's happening when we get back there at halftime. He's got his hands full back there today. All this football action.
Well, they lost him for 22 minutes. They couldn't find him under all those balloons, I understand. 39-yard line. USC in a pass situation. 3rd down and 6. Cormier to the right. Way out to the left are both Norman and Ware. See if the Buckeyes bring some pressure. Ware finds his man. One of the tight ends, I believe it was Boyer. And that appears to be enough for a first down.
Jimmy Green did a good job of maintaining his composure back there on that particular play. Ran, picked up a little extra time before he finally found the man he wanted. Zipped it in.
Boyer, 86, a senior from Huntington Beach, caught only 13 passes all season.
You see Timmy avoiding Kummerow right there. Eric Kummerow, number 14. But there's the seam in the zone. 3 defenders there, but none of them on time.
So Green's come up with some clutch 3rd down throws for USC, and the drive continues. This one to Cormier, much like the one that scored the touchdown, to the 24-yard line, a gain of 7.
Well, it's certainly not pretty, but it is effective, and that's we'll take our hat off to number 11, Timmy Green. He's had that kind of season. He's had some real problems in a couple of games hanging on to the football. Turnovers have been a real nemesis. When this SC team has had problems, it's been because they could not hang on to the ball. But Green today certainly doing an excellent job. 6 for 10, 63 yards. He's got the touchdown, and he has not been intercepted.
2nd and 3.
Oh, there it is.
Well, Norman, you talked about no mistakes, and there it is, the mistake on the handoff. And coming up with a football is Chris Spielman for Ohio State. Only 18 mistakes, but when they lost, especially in the last 2 to UCLA and Notre Dame, 11 mistakes in just those 2 games, and there's the first turnover.
Well, and that's something you shouldn't make mistakes in. That little handoff just did not get the ball comfortably to the carrier. Reverse.
Lanise on the reverse for the Buckeyes. He's got blockers 40. A flag is down as Lanise is in USC territory. But there may have been a clip on the Buckeyes.
Well, and you saw Mike Lanise bounce up off the ground, and he looked back and saw a yellow flag on the ground. Out of that wing position. Now, Lanise was converted from a tailback to that wide receiving position, and he still runs like a tailback. He scored twice on that little inside reverse. There you see the official. They're going to bring it back and march off a penalty against the Trojans.
That nullifies a 21-yard gain. Is Carter, number 2. Let's see if he was involved in that penalty.
Carter working on Tommy Haynes right there.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, maybe it was later. We didn't see the end of the play. It might have happened after the fact.
Against the offense, 15 yards from the previous spot. Still first down.
Well, that amounts to a 36-yard penalty. 21 they didn't get, and 15 they do.
There's Lanise coming up off the ground. That's the reaction we talked about. He knew the minute he saw that flag on the ground that they were going to march it off.
Actually, from the spot of the foul, it's a 12-yard penalty back to the 21-yard line. First and long, Tomczak. Almost intercepted. 4 Trojans surrounding the intended receiver, Chris Carter, and Tomczak was hit just as he threw the football.
That will not make Tomczak very popular with the coaching staff, throwing that one right into the middle of a whole nest of Trojan defenders, and he's very lucky it didn't get carried back as an interception. Tomczak under pressure. They're getting excellent pressure on him on that play. It's Del Rio blitzing from the outside. You see Bob Maggs protecting there, and one of the, who is that's 80, Pickett. That's the other linebacker. Both linebackers blitzing on that play.
2nd and 22. To the screen, the Byers, 20, cutting back. Look at the moves of this big man. And what a play!
Dick, that's a classic way to take down the big back. You get them running east and west instead of north and south. Byers running across the field. McDonald able to use his momentum coming upfield to take him down. Looking from across the field now. You'll see this play all the way through. Little throwback screen. Drops it over the head of the defenders. Byers realizes there's no chance for the first down on this side. He goes all the way back. But look at him running sideways. Timmy Green can take him down there because he has no forward momentum.
A gain of just 2, so it's 3rd and 19. And Tomczak gets it away in desperation. And that'll just get it back to where this series began when they recovered the fumble at the 33.
Dick, on that last play, SC had 5 defensive backs and 5 linebackers in the game. 1 defensive lineman. They call that their speed defense. They were able to control the long yardage situation, and they'll force the kick.
Woolridge with the reception, but good only for enough yardage to get it back where the series started after the penalty drove back the Buckeyes. Actually, it's 3rd, now 4th and 9 is Tupa to kick toward Haynes. Haynes back at the USC 25.
He's had 2 very poor kicks. Let's see if he can put his leg into this one. That's better.
Haynes drifting back, 18-yard line. And down at the 20. Good coverage by the Buckeyes. They've done that all season long. Pepper Johnson, 98, among those bringing Haynes down, along with 7 Sonny Gordon.
Well, it's a 48-yarder. He's had a couple of short ones, but he puts the foot to this one, gets it high and deep, allows his coverage team down to underneath it. They put it down 48 yards, very shallow return.
5:48 remaining in the first half.
There's a style in your life no one could ever deny. You're on your way to the top, and along the way you've always known just who you are. Where you're going, you've always known it. Where you're going, it's Michelob.
Where you're going, it's exceptionally smooth Michelob.
Where you're going, it's Michelob.
You've put in a long, hard, tough day. So you deserve to end the day in style. The 1985 Toyota SR5 Sport Truck, sporting a new electronically fuel-injected engine that makes it the most powerful truck in its class, without sacrificing an ounce of style or comfort. The Toyota Sport Truck.
Isn't it a good-looking brute?
What a feeling, Toyota.
January's champions take to the greens. Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, and defending champion John Mahaffey, plus President Ford and celebrities from television and motion pictures. All at the Bob Hope Classic. January's champions are on NBC Sports.
Oh, and what a month of January we have for you on NBC Sports. And, of course, the classic Bob Hope from the desert. We hope you'll be with us. We understand Jack Nicklaus will be involved. Of course, Arnie Palmer and all the favorites. That's the weekend of the 12th and 13th, 4:30 Eastern Time. We've got great tennis for you next weekend. McEnroe and Connors. We have the playoffs next Sunday in Miami. And unfortunately, apparently, a rather serious injury. It appears to be Martin French, 42. Reserve cornerback, being assisted very carefully, and this may not be so serious, but the precautions, unlike even when you were playing, Merlin, they'd just drag you off, wouldn't they?
Well, they sure used to be a little more careless about that, and I'm really pleased to see trainers and doctors taking better care of the athletes who are injured. No sense in having a serious injury when an athlete can be protected in that way. Ken Rutgers, big 77 up on the line.
Senior for Bakersfield, and he'll always be on the strong side of the line. Crutcher. Seeing a good balance of Crutcher. He just was staggering all the way and picks up what appears to be close to a first down, about 8 yards. What is the use of Rutgers?
Rutgers on this play is cutting off on the backside. That's Dave Crecelius right there, 97. Rutgers' job to keep him from getting down the line. He's just like a picket line. He wants to keep those back people away in case the back Crutcher wants to cut back against the grain. There'll be room there.
2nd and 2. Who comes galloping through for a first down at the 35-yard line. Spielman made the tackle. Also Johnson on the play.
SC will kind of lull you to sleep. They'll go outside, out again and again and again. Now right here, that's Rutgers on Crecelius again, and doing a good job of pushing him to the outside. I think Crecelius, anticipating the tailback to the outside, could not get back inside to even get a piece of Pola on that play.
Just under 5 minutes left in the half. USC with the ball and the lead, 10-3. Green to Ware. First down, Ohio State, 46. Spielman, the linebacker, drifting back to make the tackle. 18 more yards for SC.
When Earl Bruce left Terry White at home, he knew he was going to have some problems in that young secondary. You said it earlier, Dick. 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores back there. And right there, Timmy Green will show you why it's a problem for them. He's finding room in that secondary. And Timmy Green able to throw that pass very nicely into him on that play.
Other games today, UCLA and the Fiesta. You saw on NBC 39-37 over Miami, and Doug Flutie and Boston College defeated Houston 45-28 in the Cotton Bowl. Crutcher.
Ooh, look out.
Pretty good hole for Crutcher, and he's down to the 41-yard line. Gain of around 5 or 6. Giuliani, trailing the play, tripped him up. Reminder that later in today's Rose Bowl game, we'll select the outstanding player for each of these 2 teams. We shall make the announcement at the end of the game, and Toyota will donate a total of $1,000 to the school's general scholarship funds.
Dick, a young man on the defensive side who may be putting himself in contention is young Chris Spielman. He has 7 tackles already in this young game. And
that's the freshman.
He's got to be pumped up out there.
2nd down and 4 at the 41. Crutcher again to the 39-yard line, short of a first down.
And look who's at the bottom of that stack. Spielman, number 36, from his offside linebacking position, just shot over there behind that play and knocked Crutcher right off his feet.
6'2" and 223, the freshman from Massillon. Well, how many great players and coaches have...
Well, Earl Bruce coached there himself for a while. Ted Tollner didn't.
He's been a West Coast man. Graduated from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Oops, mix-up. Green throws it over the head of Cormier.
Well, that's the kind of inconsistency that Tollner's had to deal with this year from Green. He's hot, and then he's cold.
And now we'll have to look at a punt situation, apparently. Tollner, it's an interesting story, and he's a very fortunate man. He was a member of that Cal Poly San Luis Obispo team back in 1960. A plane crash in Toledo. They'd played Bowling Green. 22 teammates died. He was right at the wing level. Everyone in front of him perished, and he and most everyone behind survived despite serious injuries. So the man has enjoyed every day of his life. He figures that that was something that would influence him every day. Too much time by USC.
You know, there's a personal footnote to that. We had flown in my college days the same plane with the same pilot 2 weeks before that air disaster. So that one is fairly close to home for me, too.
Delay of the game against the offense. Still 4th down.
So Troy Richardson will kick from 5 yards farther back, and Lanise will still stand at the 10 for Ohio State. 2:57 left, so the Buckeyes going to get the ball with plenty of time to try to even the count. End over end. That'll probably go in the end zone. And does.
Almost a perfect kick, though. There were Trojan defenders down there. Had they been able to get their hands on it, they could have stopped it.
So 24 yards net on the punt for Richardson. And it's first down Ohio State at the Buckeye 20-yard line. They have stopped SC twice inside the 50, once on a fumble. And Southern California unable to maintain their drive on that last possession. Full day 85, and Bob Costas in New York. I'm sure he'll have some of the key plays from the earlier games and a look ahead to tonight's action on the Orange Bowl, Oklahoma and Washington. Tomczak to Carter, and a first down at the 37-yard line. McDonald made the play.
You sense Earl Bruce. He says we're going to open it up a little bit. We have not been successful grinding on the ground, and he's telling them to hurry now. 2:40 on the clock left in this first half. They're in their 2-minute offense already.
Fake to Byers. Tomczak hit by Del Rio. Jack Del Rio, number 52, the senior from Haywood, California High School up in the Bay Area. Interesting heritage. He's 1/4 Spanish, 1/4 Italian, 1/4 Irish, and 1/4 Cherokee Indian. Put that all together and you got an All-American.
Well, you saw the 55 sacks behind the line, or tackles behind the line. He added another one right there.
Quick toss and a completion to Ed Taggart, the tight end from Akron, his first reception. And he stops the clock as he steps out of bounds. 2:09 left in the half, and that appears to be close to another first down.
The SC defense runs almost no man-to-man coverage. Almost everything's zone. They just don't have the personnel. And when they blitz people out of that coverage, they'll leave zones open. If Ohio State can find those zones, they'll be able to take advantage of them.
10 yards on the play, but with a loss on the preceding effort by Tomczak, it's 3rd and a short 2. Byers has it. And more to the 45 of USC before Jerome Tyler could ride him down. 9 yards for Byers, and the Buckeyes were their most impressive drive since the opening possession.
Still in their 2-minute drill. They have not huddled. Tomczak, a good leader. Let's see what he can do here. He's gone.
Down he goes, and he fumbles, and USC has recovered.
Number 52, Jack Del Rio from the backside, from the blind side, and they're shooting those linebackers. They're not getting picked up. Tomczak taking a little extra time, knocked down from the backside.
Colorado apparently fell on the loose ball. Here's Del Rio.
Del Rio just drilled it. The ball bouncing loose. Tomczak couldn't look back to see where it was. And you'll see Colorado get a shot at it on the ground. There he is. You see him spot that football? He'll go right down and scoop it up.
Ball right at the 50-yard line. And it's Del Rio's second sack in that series that creates the fumble, and Green with 1:50 left. And his own scramble, and almost intercepted by Ohio State. Spielman again. He's always around the ball, as Fred Crutcher had to go off his fingertips.
Great speed. Spielman outside. That ball dangerously close to an interception. And that's one of the things that Ted Tollner did very well during the early part of this year, is to quiet down Timmy Green. He was not expected to play, and he's still a very excitable young man. Throws that pass quite well under pressure, but the ball bounces off the hands of Crutcher, and you saw Spielman just about pick it up off the grass.
USC in a single back pass formation. Throws back and incomplete. Tight end Mark Boyer, it appeared he was looking right into the sun as he tried to search that pass.
I think he lost his feet too, Dick. I think his feet went out from underneath him. That's certainly not the responsibility of the quarterback. Green gets that pass off, but has a little trouble after the play here. Chance to see it. Kumaro, number 14, coming from the outside, and 57, Dave Morrow. They're giving him a little work. Oh, there. Hey, he's a scrappy little cuss, I'll tell you.
He really is.
Yeah.
He's a talker, too. In fact, maybe a little bit too much late in the year, as he was bulletin board fodder for the opposition. He does not lack in confidence. Down the middle, and Norman can't hang on as that ball juggled through a couple of sets of hands, and the Buckeyes had a chance.
Almost intercepted, then almost caught, then almost intercepted again. Feel like you're right there as part of the action. Tim Green dropping back all on the left side this time, throws it right down over the center. First man there to bounce it up.
William White, 37.
Yeah, William White from the outside, a cornerback actually. He was over quickly to get in on Hank. Look out.
Roy Richardson to punt. Lenise back at his 12. Lenise a fair catch at the 10-yard line. USC again with excellent coverage. Richardson's kicks have been very high, and the Trojans have been behind Lenise, ready to ground the ball or down it. And this time he wisely elected the fair catch at the 11-yard line, and still plenty of time, 1:26. So in the hurry-up offense used by Earl Bruce in their last possession, you wonder why were they hurrying so much with all the time remaining. Actually, it's worked out because SC failing to pick up the first down, and so the Buckeyes still have 1:26 to tie it up.
Interesting to see how much gambling goes on here on this play.
Zach knows that he better watch out for 52 Del Rio, and here comes Del Rio again. Byers wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. It's taking 3 and 4 tacklers at a time, but they have certainly put a lock on Byers since his long 50-yard run early. Rex Moore, key man on the last play. 2nd and 10. Zach. Intercepted by Tommy Haynes at the 25. So it'll be Southern California with a chance to add to the 10-3 lead.
Ohio State trying to exploit the secondary of the Trojans. They've been hurt by the pass over the year, but not on this play. Tommy Haynes, good reaction as he steps back inside, takes that ball out of the air, and he'll give the Trojans another opportunity to score.
58 seconds left in the half.
Did you ever notice that just when you think you see the whole picture, the picture changes? Technology from a company called TRW lets us look at our world in fresh ways.
Less than a minute remaining in the first half. USC leading 10-3. The only touchdown scored by Southern California came after a Neil Hope interception, and the Trojans went 45 yards in 8 plays. Green to Cormier, 3 yards for the touchdown. Now an interception by Haynes. USC has the ball inside the Buckeye 25. Fletcher driving inside the 20, a gain of 5. Clock is running.
SC has been averaging 6.3 yards per carry on those first down situations, doing a powerful job moving the ball. They're close to that on that play, almost exactly what their average is for the first half here.
USC has all 3 timeouts left, but are very casual about letting the clock run here. It's down to 30 seconds. With 25. Green throwing for Timmy Ware. Touchdown. Yards for number 19, Timmy Ware, and USC moves up 16-3.
Bob Tucker and his defense for Ohio State gambling. They came with the blitz. That puts the pressure man on man in the secondary. And Earl Bruce, not a very happy man on the sideline. Down 16-3, a chance to see it go to 17-3 here.
4 touchdown passes all year. 11 games, 4 touchdown passes, 2 in the first half today. Steve Jordan adds the extra point. Yeah, what a thrill that must be. Ware had only 1 touchdown reception all year, but he's got one in the granddaddy.
Just blowing out into an open part of the field there. Nobody even around him. It appeared, Dick, that William White was covering up short and expecting help deep. The closest man is the rover, I believe, on the other side coming over, and he's nowhere to be seen.
So Tim Green, the feisty little quarterback of the Trojans, has his 2nd touchdown throw and a 17-3 lead with 22 seconds left.
And a day of hot and cold Tim Green certainly has had him hot at the right moments as he hits Timmy Ware for his 2nd touchdown pass of the day.
Green is in the game and played the latter part of the year because of the injury to Sean Salisbury. He was the top quarterback for the Trojans, but injured seriously in the second game of the year. Green was redshirting, and they needed his experience, so he came back, decided to use his final year of eligibility this year, and led his team, certainly underdogs to do that, into this Rose Bowl, and had a great first half. Jordan to Byers, and Byers hoping that would go out of the end zone to the 30, but it lands in the end zone, so the touchback at the 20-yard line. Many Rose Bowl thrills, and all the greats in football history, or many of them, have performed on this field. And back in 1973, it was Sam Bam Cunningham.
Davis running through 10. He's good. Anthony Davis does his victory dance on his knees.
Well, they said it'd be Sam Bam. I guess we'll show him another time, but his teammate Anthony Davis, he knew how to get into the end zone as well.
He did have the right uniform on.
Tomczak to Carter, and Carter out of bounds at the 43, and USC lucky 15 yards not tacked on. It looked to be a pretty high hit. 23 yards in the play. Jerome Tyler made the tackle.
We may get a penalty yet. Well, Carter may be hurt. Lanise over quickly to see what's wrong with his teammate. Trainer across the field.
So Carter hit hard as he went out of bounds, and looked like that was right around the pads or helmet. Reminder that following our Rose Bowl activity here in Pasadena, it'll be Oklahoma Sooners and the Washington Huskies from Miami's Orange Bowl. Completing our triple header of football action, and at halftime, Bob Costas will set the scene for you. A lot of mixed emotions around the country as to who is number one, and Doug Flutie, who has already led his Boston College Eagles to a victory in the Cotton Bowl. We'll see him on Saturday in Honolulu in the Hula Bowl. Tony DeGreat, the Lombardi Award winner for Texas, will also be in that one. And Merlin and I are headed for Miami, where the Pittsburgh Steelers will meet the Miami Dolphins for the right to go on to the Super Bowl in Palo Alto, California. Carter is okay, comes off under his own power.
Good news for Buckeye fans. He's an important cog, and they've got to be thinking about how they can get themselves back on that scoreboard.
15 seconds left. First down from their 43. Tomczak eluding the rush. Has an open man. Woolridge at the 41 of USC. 8 seconds left. The Buckeyes have only one timeout remaining. And they'll spend it right now. 15 yards on that play. Well, we were out here about 4 hours before the kickoff, and most of the folks were at the parade. A few straggled in the early morning, and bit by bit, the 100,000 plus filled this giant oval down in one of the little arroyos. Oklahoma Sooners and the Washington Huskies from Miami's Orange Bowl. Completing our triple header of football action, and at halftime, Bob Costas will set the scene for you. A lot of mixed emotions around the country as to who is number one, and Doug Flutie, who has already led his Boston College Eagles to a victory in the Cotton Bowl. We'll see him on Saturday in Honolulu in the Hula Bowl. Tony DeGreat, the Lombardi Award winner for Texas, will also be in that one. And Merlin and I are headed for Miami, where the Pittsburgh Steelers will meet the Miami Dolphins for the right to go on to the Super Bowl in Palo Alto, California. Carter is okay, comes off under his own power.
Good news for Buckeye fans. He's an important cog, and they've got to be thinking about how they can get themselves back on that scoreboard.
15 seconds left. First down from their 43. Tomczak eluding the rush. Has an open man. Woolridge at the 41 of USC. 8 seconds left. The Buckeyes have only one timeout remaining. And they'll spend it right now. 15 yards on that play. Well, we were out here about 4 hours before the kickoff, and most of the folks were at the parade. A few straggled in the early morning, and bit by bit, the 100,000 plus filled this giant oval down in one of the little arroyos in Pasadena.
Just like magic.
That's the one you sent home saying, having a wonderful day in Pasadena, another rotten day in paradise.
What a beautiful day. I live just a few minutes from here. I ride my bicycle down around this Rose Bowl. This is not a typical Ohio State outing. Look how many points they have scored on the season, an average of 34 per game. Much, much more than SC has averaged, but this has certainly been a non-typical game for both teams. You can see the defenses have both been tough during the day. So far, passing, Ohio State 5 for 6, averaging 13.3 yards on first downs. Yeah. Well, doing a good job on the passing side on first down. Not such a good job of running the football. SC has been tough against the running attack today.
Only 8 seconds left and no more timeouts for Tom Zapp. Looking for Lanise. He's got it. He's out of bounds. 3 seconds, and at least they could go for a long field goal, and that's exactly what Earl Bruce has ordered. 12 yards on that play. Lanise out of bounds at the 29. So this one will be around 46 yards for Spangler, his longest of the year, and for his career is 47.
Kind of pleasant to see a straight-up kicker for a change, isn't it?
Indeed. In fact, Lou Groza was one of the great kickers. The toe was his tutor for 2 years. 46-yard attempt. Oh, you can't kick that one any straighter. And the Buckeyes get 3.
Big lift emotionally just before the half as time runs out. Spangler has given his troops a little shot in the arm. 3 points on the board. Straight into the ball. Up high and dropping over the goalpost.
46 yards for Spangler. That is the end of the first half. The Buckeyes can celebrate 2 field goals, but looking at the scoreboard, they trail by 11 as they head to the locker at the intermission.
200 brass and percussionists bring our stadium encores to a spectacular finale with the overture to 1812.
Bravo! Over 200 brass percussionists, the overture to 1812. The Ohio State Marching Band, one of the nation's great bands, and we'll visit with another USC in a moment, but right now, a chance to salute the Big Ten Conference, the members of the Big Ten. We say hello on this happy New Year's Day.
The Big Ten Conference was founded in 1896 when Purdue President James Smart called a meeting of 6 other universities in the Midwest. It has steadily progressed through the years until today, where it ranks as the premier conference in terms of athletic and academic structure. Few other conferences can match the combined success that the Big Ten has enjoyed in football and basketball over the years. But it's more than just success on the athletic field that makes the Big Ten the premier conference in the country. It's the value of owning a degree from one of the 10 institutions. It's the day-to-day learning process and the adjustment to college life. It's here on Big Ten campuses where tomorrow's leaders are using their knowledge in the arts and sciences, the technological fields, and social research centers to help make this a better country. Be part of the success story that is sweeping the nation now. Support your favorite Big Ten university and join the winning tradition that makes the Big Ten big time.
Preceding message furnished by the Pasadena Tournament of Roses Association on behalf of the Big Ten Conference. And the Big Ten starting early in this series, winning year after year, and of late it's been the Pacific 10, 13 of the last 15 years. And we'll be back with SC in front at halftime after these messages from your local station.
Thursday on Cheers, you'll scream when you find out why Carla turns down a marriage proposal. And on Night Court, it's Harry's birthday. And his surprise, excuse me, will be everything but a party. Night Court. Then, on Hill Street Blues, the boys go undercover.
It's a wire.
To smoke out arsonists.
Thursday.
Nissan 85. Now get the tough truck you want at the price you
85 Rose Bowl souvenir program for the 71st Classic game matching Ohio State and USC. Send a check or money order for $6 to Touchdown Publications, Box 3337, Fullerton, California, 92634. This collector's edition contains in-depth scouting reports, special features on past Rose Bowl games, a section on the record holders, a review of the team's past seasons in words and photos, and many other features. Act now. Send your check or money order for $6 to Touchdown Publications, Box 3337, Fullerton, California, 92634. This price includes postage and handling. You'll receive your souvenir Rose Bowl program soon after the game.
Preceding message furnished by the Pasadena Tournament of Roses Association. We're at halftime. Spangler kicks it off. A low line drive taken by Albert Watts of USC. And Watts skipping to the 30. Nice little inside move by Watts, who began his college career at the University of Oklahoma. USC beginning at its 30, it has by far enjoyed better field position throughout the first half. Well, there it is. 8 drives for Ohio State. The average start at their own 18, while USC starting from its 45.
The further you have to go to get that touchdown, the more opportunities to make mistakes, the more difficult it is to sustain the drive. Field position, critical in the first half today.
And 2 interceptions in Ohio State territory led to the USC 2 touchdowns. Crutcher straight ahead about the 34-yard line. Just to review the scoring, Neil Hope intercepted a pass at the 47 of Ohio State, and that led to the Green Cormier touchdown. And then late in the half, Haynes interception at the Buckeye 24, and a couple plays later, Green hit Ware 19 yards for the touchdown. A late field goal by Spangler in the final seconds of the half made it 17-6, and that's where we stand. Short of the first down, good attacking defense, and Chris Spielman there again along with Giuliani for the Buckeyes.
Dick, after watching that wonderful halftime, it's just a thrill for us to be here for this great game. And you know, see Jim Boyle, who's the president of this year's Tournament of Roses, and you know there are over 800 members that really give up a good part of their year to make this happen. 29 different committees, and what a beautiful job they have done this year.
The parade, this game, and the halftime, the combination so far, non-Pharrell. Third and short, and it's Crutcher diving to the 40. It'll be very close as Spielman again makes the tackle for the Buckeyes. And this freshman is playing like an old Big Ten performer.
Well, they certainly knew that he was going to be a great player. We mentioned it. He had knee problems or ankle problems. Look at that. He refused to be knocked out of the play. That's a little efficient tripping there by the youngster. Throwing his legs. Watch him whip his legs. Can't make the tackle. He's been knocked off his feet. Just rolls right into Crutcher and takes Crutcher off his feet.
And denies the Trojans the first down by about a foot.
Excellent play by the freshman.
That was important for the Buckeyes, trailing 17-6, to not allow SC a long drive to add to their lead. The Buckeyes will get it on the punt as Troy Richardson comes in. Mike Lanise back at the Buckeye 20-yard line. 10 men up front for the Buckeyes. Now they drop some back. Another great kick by Richardson, and Lanise fair catch back at his 17-yard line. So Richardson perhaps accepting the challenge of Tom Turpa, the brilliant kicker for the Buckeyes.
It's amazing what a little adrenaline can do for the system. And certainly Troy Richardson has been benefited by a great deal of that pumping adrenaline today.
45 yards, no return for Richardson, and the Buckeyes again, as was their fate in the first half, starting with poor field position at the 17. Lanise and Carter come out to the left. The tight end is Taggart. Barry Walker and Keith Byers behind Tomczak, and the All-American Byers stopped again. Neil Hope, the senior linebacker from Los Angeles Fairfax High School, spearheaded that charge.
Hope right there to meet Byers at the line of scrimmage. A squat linebacker. He looks smaller than he actually is, but great power and a great feel for the football. It really flows well to the ball. Both these teams try to protect those linebackers with the 3-down linemen, and they expect those linebackers to make the high percentage of the tackles. Certainly that's true in the case of SC. 3 linebackers are their 3 top tacklers.
Byers out, and John Woolridge, speedy tailback in for the Buckeyes. Whoa! And Tomczak catches it and throws it again, incomplete to Taggart. Well, that was a bit of Doug Henning there for the Buckeyes, and almost a big play.
I don't think you can throw 2 forward passes, can you, Dick?
I think if you're just juggling it to yourself a little bit, maybe they'll call that just a fumble.
Just a bobble, perhaps. Well, maybe so. Maybe calling that one a fumble. Perhaps the ball went backwards. I know it's illegal to throw 2 forward passes on the same play, but maybe they considered that first one just a lateral back to himself. Tomczak lateraling to Tomczak.
Well, that's a kind of initial mistake that often leads to the big return or big play. We saw that in the Fiesta Bowl, where they fumble on a kick and then it turns into a punt return touchdown.
That's not the kind of beginning they wanted for this drive, believe me.
3rd and 8. Under pressure, but wide open is Carter, and he almost went all the way. He's down. I believe they'll whistle a dead yes at the 44-yard line. Great catch by Carter, who took quite a lick.
I think when we look at that play, we're going to see that Carter was actually hit before he caught that ball. Tomczak under pressure. This is the speed defense again. Only 1 lineman in. All the rest linebackers. That was Jerome Tyler, number 1, coming in from the backside. Let's see if he does get a hold of Carter. Right here, he'll come from the left side of your picture. Yes, he did. Right just a fraction of a second before. But Chris Carter, amazing concentration, and you see the ball bounce out after he hit the ground.
First down at the 44 for the Buckeyes, and here comes Byers. Oh, look at that. There are 10 men on Byers and 1 standing. All 11 men were within a yard of Byers when the whistle sounded.
Marty Gigantino is going to be very, very pleased about that kind of defense. Often we show you replays at a slower speed. We're going to give you this one at regular speed. Look how quickly those defenders arrive. Oh, that sounded like a train wreck.
Oh, that's like running into the City Hall, that sound. There are the first half statistics. The Buckeyes winning the statistical battle, but trailing 17-6. 2nd and 10, no gain. Throwing back and wide open is Mike Liddy. No, it's Carter again. And the clever freshman is to the 21-yard line. Jerome Tyler made the tackle, and Chris Carter having himself quite a Rose Bowl game, the freshman.
And SC, aware of their weakness in the secondary, they've been able to cover it early in this ball game. They were not able to cover it in this particular situation. Tomczak rolling to his right, throws all the way back against the grain. Now, they must have seen something in the first half. They made an adjustment. They are taking advantage right there. Keith Biggers, number 17, trying to get out to make that tackle. The linebacker, and you see Tomczak, he knows they've got a chance now to get on the board.
First down at the 21, and a rare call to the fullback, Barry Walker, the junior from Lancaster, Ohio. He gets 3, maybe 4. Carter has 6 catches, and he's over the 100-yard mark for the Buckeyes.
I think there's an interesting personal relationship between Artie Gigantino, the defensive coordinator from SC, and Glenn Mason. They played high school football against each other back in Edison, New Jersey. And Artie was just a sophomore and Glenn Mason a senior. They didn't know each other then. They've become good friends, and here they are masterminding an offense and a defense against each other in this Rose Bowl today.
2nd down and 7. Tom Zach. Ooh. Byers staying on his feet after he was drilled by Tommy Haynes, and we were watching closely. Haynes does get up. Oh, the sounds alone tell you the story of that play.
Byers could keep his feet after that first shot.
3rd down and 4. Looking for 6. He's got Taggart out of bounds at the 6. A flag is down in the backfield of Ohio State. It's either 1st and goal or a penalty against the Buckeyes.
Mark Karowitz, the right offensive tackle, extremely upset.
Face mask against Ohio State.
Mistakes, how they will kill you. Earlier, a 21-yard run called back because of a penalty, and now a pass reception that sets them up inside the 5, and they're going to march it back and carry a penalty back against Ohio State.
And with it, 3rd down instead of 4, or 1st and goal, it'll be 3rd and long.
Face mask against the offense, 15 yards.
Perhaps in the course of trying to block his man, someone in there grabbed a hold of a helmet, the mask, and wrestled his opponent down. So it's 3rd and 26 back at the 37-yard line.
Now the official was talking to Mark Karowitz on that last play. We certainly wouldn't want to blame him without actually seeing the play itself.
Lanise to the right. Carter with 6 catches and 125 yards is out of your picture to the left. The lateral, and it appeared to be Taggart, the tight end, that gets inside the 35-yard line, and the gain of 3 as Dwayne Bickett was the man applying the pressure.
Del Rio, coming from the outside, is looking at 2 blockers on this play. Rory Graves, 75. Jim Lachey, the All-American, inside, and he gets through them, and he's got Loudermilk. That's about 750 pounds waiting for him on the inside. Jack Del Rio.
Long field goal attempt to be the longest of his career, 52 yards. It's long enough. Indeed, it's long enough. It's good. A new Rose Bowl record, breaking the one that was set in the first quarter by Steve Jordan. 52 yards by Rick Spangler.
Well, those old straight-up kickers can kick. I'll bet Luke Rosa is somewhere very proud right at this moment.
Well, that would have been good from 62. Spangler admiring a new Rose Bowl record, 52 yards, 3 more points for the Buckeyes. Welcome back with 8:37 left in the 3rd quarter. The Buckeyes have drawn within 8. Of course, you have the 2-point conversion in college football, so they're a touchdown and a 2-point conversion away from a tie. As Spangler, fresh from his record 52-yard field goal, kicks it off to Tanner and Watts. Elbert Watts will not run it up. 1st down at the 20. So 3 field goals by Spangler of 21, 46 just before the half, and 52 yards to start this 3rd quarter. Ryan Knight, number 26, the sensational freshman running back for Southern California, is in the game. He played only briefly in the first half. highly recruited Rubidoux High School in Riverside, California, and he gained 485 yards rushing this year, backing up Freddie Crutcher. But this is to Kennedy Pola, the fullback, and he's got some running room. Boy, it almost looks like he tries to find a uniform to run into. He didn't like all that open area, and he found Thomas Pepper Johnson. Not until he had picked up a first down.
The steady pounding of that tailback coming out. Little counter there. You see how he just starts, kind of hides in behind the line. Everyone reacts to the left, and here comes Kennedy Pola back to the outside. Ooh. Oh, that hurts all the way up here.
Fred Crutcher is in now, and Ryan Knight, who was a decoy on that play, is back on the sidelines.
Greg Rogan, 29, and getting run over out there. Ouch.
Picking on those little defensive backs. Green guns it complete to Crutcher at the 43, a gain of 8. Now Tim Green from Redondo Beach, California, he says, I'm not a milk and cookies type quarterback. He likes to talk, and he's made some rather brash statements that some of his teammates said, hey, don't say those things. Other teams hear that, and then they get mad at us. And he said, well, that's my character is to talk as well as to play hard.
Well, you know, and if you can back it up, it ain't bragging. I can't remember who said that, but Tim has been doing it today.
2nd and 2. Crutcher went down as if he were shot, and there he is again. Chris Spielman. Oh, my, he must have about a dozen tackles already.
Number 36, watch him right on the right-hand side. Look how quickly he reacts to that play. Ducks in underneath that block and nails Freddie Crutcher in the backfield. Well, they had billed him as an exciting player, and boy, he has proved to be every bit of that. Look how he got underneath that block. He'll just pop right up into that play and knock Crutcher off his feet.
10 tackles for Spielman. It's 3rd and 1. Ryan Knight, the freshman. It appears he did cross the 45, and if so, that would be a first down. He is listed at 6'1", probably closer to 5'11", 205, but very strong legs. He's a 430-pound bench presser, so he's got a lot of power.
Spielman and Johnson, the two inside linebackers there to make the play, and it was an excellent defensive play, but not quite good enough to stop the first down. And the OSU defense, the Buckeyes need a turnover, Dick. They've got to make something happen defensively here.
6.5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. 17-9, USC leads. Green on first down to his tight end Boyer, and he's in Ohio State territory at the 47-yard line. A 6-yard pickup. Greg Rogan made the defensive play.
Ted Toller angry about something on the sideline.
Tollner, who succeeded John Robinson. Robinson retiring from collegiate coaching for less than a year before accepting the head coaching job with the Los Angeles Rams.
Dick, one of the secrets to the success of this SC offense today, great pass protection. Green has not been sacked so far on the day. Only 16 sacks coming into this game by the SC on the SC quarterback.
Meanwhile, SC has really pressured Tomczak. Ryan Knight for short yardage to the 45, and Pepper Johnson, 98, made the tackle.
Pepper in to try and strip that ball. Really trying to tackle the football on that play. They are trying to force the turnover. Let's see what happens on a 3rd and short now. 8-point lead on the board. What do you do here? Great chance for a play-action pass, but well, it's been Tollner's style this year because of his situation to be conservative. Let's see if he does it here.
3rd and a long yard. Cormier in motion. And it's the fullback Pola easily for the first down to the Buckeye 43-yard line. Eric Kummerow in on the tackle. Pepper Johnson and others. Johnson, 98 of the Buckeyes. He and Keith Byers are real good buddies, and what they like to do whenever they have some spare time is go bowling. Did you ever set pins? I can remember ducking those things back when I was a kid. How'd you like to have Byers and Johnson firing that black pill down the alley?
It wouldn't be worth it. I did set pins, and it wouldn't be worth it.
Thank goodness for automation. First down. 17-9 USC. Breaking 2 tackles, 40. Look at, he runs like a fullback to the 32-yard line, about 10 yards for Green.
He's got some spunk. And he ran extremely well with that play, breaking out of a tackle. He's back, and one of the ways a quarterback can help his offensive line is when there is no receiver, when he can see the protection breaking down, get in gear, get moving. He breaks away from a tackle there and ends up with a good gain. In fact, they're measuring it for the first down.
Dave Morrill had a chance, number 57, to get him there at the line of scrimmage, but Green is strong.
Yeah, a little stiff arm there by Green.
William White, along with Byron Lee.
Yeah, linebacker from the other side.
Oh, 1985. There is a common denominator with what has happened in the year past, and here it is.
You know what's great is it's on this side it's an OSU wave. It gets over on the other side, it's a USC wave.
Equal time.
Equal time.
The fans having a great time. Now they're all involved. So 508, pick your side and have a good time.
Well, that's what you call an impartial wave there.
Like opening up the top of a big anthill. I don't know why we have a time delay here with 5:08.
They had to take the yard markers all the way back across the field, just short of the first down. Second and just inches. They had to be reset on the far side, and now the officials putting us back into motion. Earl Bruce concerned as SC is in great field position again.
Down to play with second and short. Green will just give it to Ryan Knight, and he's dropped for a loss. Pepper Johnson met him in the hole.
Pepper Johnson and our young freshman Spielman. And there's Pepper out to say that's the thing we wanted to do. That's what we had in mind. Watch the two linebackers, Spielman and Johnson, both penetrating. Pepper gets there first, and Spielman comes in to finish off the job. The two inside linebackers very, very quickly on top of the tackle.
And a loss of a yard for Ryan Knight. Spielman now with 10 tackles and 3 assists has had a big Rose Bowl game, the freshman. Green rolling, throwing to Norman, incomplete. Ohio State has held. We'll see if Steve Jordan will try another long field goal.
We saw him earlier, number 36 at the top of your screen. Watch him going up in the air to try and knock that ball down. A mid-air collision between 36 Spielman and 26 Ryan Knight. He's liable to hurt one of those ankles again.
Well, we're going to have a 51-yard attempt, apparently, by Steve Jordan, who set a Rose Bowl record when he connected from 51 yards in the first quarter, and then had that broken by Spangler's 52-yard shot.
We sure know he can kick it that far.
It's long enough. It's good. Isn't that something? In 70 previous Rose Bowls, no one ever kicked one longer than 47. We've got 3 50-yard plus field goals today.
Ohio 9.
Steve Jordan gets the 3 back that Spangler put on the board, and it's 20-9.
I'm starved. What are you having?
How about the turkey croquettes?
How about a personal computer? Who are you? You're not my regular waiter. I'm
USC 20, Ohio State 9, with 4:05 left in the third quarter. 2 field goals in this period, 103 yards, 152 and 151.
And they have both been perfect so far today. They haven't missed an opportunity. Both field goalers hitting at 100% on the day.
Jordan, who now has 6 career field goals of 50 yards or more, kicking it off to Woolridge and Byers, the talented tandem for Ohio State. It's to Byers, and he'll take it out. 22-yard line, Byers struggles. A spectator today, but He was here so many times and put on some rather interesting antics on the sidelines. Woody Hayes, former Ohio State coach, admirer of history, military history, and certainly in many ways coached in that manner. He's had his lows and his highs, but he's taken them all like a man, and it's nice to see him in Pasadena for another Rose Bowl Classic. Some of the sweaters and jackets are on. This 100,000 plus at the Rose Bowl as sun setting. The lights are on. USC leading Ohio State 20-9. Woody Hayes, you crossed paths in your football life.
I have an interesting story I'd like to share with you, Dick, after this play.
Mike Tomczak, the quarterback. He's 15 for 22, but 2 passes intercepted today. Just under 200 yards throwing the football. Takes over at the 22. His team down by 11. And it's Kim Blair, number 46, who gets the call for short yardage.
Dick, the Ohio State team was staying at the Huntington Sheraton, which is close to my house, and the Rams, and I was playing for the Rams at the time, were preparing for a playoff game. The night before the game, New Year's Eve, Woody was putting his team to bed, and I had been there to have dinner with my wife. I'm heading out the door. Woody sees me, and I said, "Hi, Coach." And he walked over and took a hold of my arm. He said, "Son, you should be home in bed. You've got a big game coming up."
He's going to try to throw what Ohio State uniform on. Tomczak, and Byers hit immediately by Neil Hope. Byers stopped shy of the 30, so it'll be 3rd and about 3. Well, we have this telecast going nationwide and worldwide, and with us with their live call back to Japan Asahi Television. Let's see how they call this critical 3rd and 3.
我々の放送席を映してくれています。さてボールオンはオハイオステート陣内の29ヤード、サードダウン3の攻撃です。ファーストダウン獲得まで残り3ヤード。大事な攻撃となりました。左にピッチアウト。キース・バイヤースですが捕まりました。これはどう。
いやー素晴らしいディフェンスですね。オールアメリカンのラインバッカー80番ビケットですか。
はい。そして1番のフリーセーフティーのタイラー。
You've heard Wayne Bickett, All-American linebacker, in the tackle along with 3 safeties. Jerome Tyler. A critical 3rd down loss, and the Buckeyes will punt. And this is how they get their kicks back in Japan, listening to it. I guess we're not going to hear that. All right, Tupa delivers, and does he? What a kick. To the 20.
And a good roll.
And out of bounds at the 10-yard line for Tom Tupa, and that'll be near a Rose Bowl record, we would think. 66 yards for the freshman. I recall Bracken of Michigan set the Rose Bowl record, and that has not been erased. It was 73 yards by Don Bracken back in 1981. 1975 was a critical call by USC football coach John McKay against these Ohio State Buckeyes.
Going for 2. They could win it. If they blow it, they could lose it. Hayden throws, and he has
it. Viewing this telecast around the world, from the Azores to the United Kingdom, plus the men and women of the U.S. Armed Forces and our Atlantic and Pacific fleets. Happy New Year, everyone, and thank you for joining us at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. With 1 minute and 55 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter, USC with the ball deep in their own end with the lead, 20-9. Buckeye fans making a lot of noise down at this end of the field. And Ryan Knight gains only 2. Dave Morrill, 57, with a tackle.
Morrill over from his right tackle position. Excellent pursuit along the line. Bring Ryan Knight down.
USC, well, they don't have a right tackle or left tackle. They actually line up strong side, weak side.
They really do. They flip-flop their offensive line. If you watch them come out of the huddle, they'll sometimes approach the line directly from their huddle. Other times they have to go back and forth to get the strong side or the weak side of the formation.
Strong side being the side to the tight end if there's only one in. In this case, there's 2 in. Crutcher. And the Buckeye defense playing with spirit, and a fumble apparently. Oh, they're marking it down at the 14-yard line, where it'll be 3rd and 6.
Looking at it from a camera we have atop one of the poles that holds the net behind the goalpost, you'll see the play. Again, they're trying to strip that ball away. It was knocked loose, but not until Crutcher had bounced on the ground.
There's the camera on the netting that keeps the ball from going into the crowd on long kicks. 3rd and 6. Green to Cormier, and a critical first down for USC at the 23-yard line.
Scotty Leach over to knock Cormier out of bounds, but Timmy Green again coming up with the big play, and we've said it a lot today. He was not expected to be the hero of this game. He certainly has been the outstanding performer so far. Just a quick throw to the outside. The H-back in motion, upfield. Cormier, the second tight end of the game, just catches it and turns it up for a first down.
Todd Steele, 21, replaces Kennedy Pola at fullback on first down. Toss to Knight, and he's toppled after the short gain. So Ted Tollner now going to Knight and Steele to try to give his starters Crutcher and Pola a breather. Morrill and Spielman again on the tackle.
Steele had hurt his leg earlier in the week in practice, and I mentioned one of the things that was very different about the 2 practice sites for this game. There was a lot more hitting going on in the SC camp, especially this last week, and they have looked sharper in that department. Perhaps it did pay some dividends to have those rougher and more physical practices during this last week.
And that is the end of the 3rd quarter. 20-9 USC. Back after these messages from your local station.
Lubricant for the closeness and comfort you want in a shave. And by Wang. Wang puts people in front of computers.
Well, as we open this 4th quarter, you can see that Buckeye run defense tightening as Anthony Giuliani drags down Ryan Knight for a loss. It'll be 3rd down and 11. Backing up, quarterback Mike Tomczak is 16 Jim Carsados, who is from Southern California, one of the few that have migrated back to Big Ten country. In fact, his dad is a USC season ticket holder.
Talk about mixed emotions.
Yes. Green needing 11 for a first down. And it's broken up by William White, intended for Timmy Ware. So the Buckeye defense has stopped USC. Boy, you remember back, Merlin, when the series first began in 1947, when Illinois clobbered UCLA 45-14. Big Ten lost only once the first 13 games. It was 12-1. It would seem like the West Coast would never win. And then of late, it's just turned around. And it's been the West Coast teams, the Pac-10, who have won 13 of the last 15. The series even at 19. It really has had a big shift.
We saw briefly those numbers for the kickers. Dick, it has been interesting, and we've been a part of that history in the last few. Whoa, almost a block.
Delightfully so. Lanise lets it go, and it's going to have a nice roll for Richardson, who has been a most pleasant factor for USC fans and Coach Ted Tollner. He has kicked extremely well. That one was 50 yards, no return. Timeout with 14:04 left in the 4th quarter. 20-9, USC leading Ohio State, 14:04 left. Obviously, the Buckeyes have to score twice. What do you think they'll do?
They've got to get themselves going here, and I think they've got to go to the air. They have not been able to run the ball consistently. They have not been able to lean on that big running game. Byers has just not been able to do anything except that one long run. To give credit to the SC linebackers, but they're going to have to open up and throw the football.
Well, let's see how that works as they break huddle at the 29-yard line. Tomczak with Byers going into the pass pattern. And it's Carter, a short gainer, out to the 33, a gain of 5, and Carter with his 7th catch. Reminds us of that tremendous aerial warfare back in '63 when Vander Kellen of Wisconsin and Beathard of USC set all the records.
That game being played late in the day, and they didn't have lights here in those days. I can remember how dark it was when they finally finished that ball game.
Ball is near the 34-yard line, 2nd and 5. Tomczak indeed goes to the air. Carter intercepted by USC's Tommy Haynes. Haynes at the 50 and tackled at the 48 in the Buckeye sidelines. They want interference.
Carter was knocked down or tripped just before that ball arrived. But the officials, you'll see Carter. He breaks to the outside. Just before he gets to the sideline, he's bumped by Tommy Haynes, who hit his leg. Carter went to the ground, and Haynes came up with the football.
Needless to say, Earl Bruce and the Bucks on the near sidelines, different sort of emotion than the celebration on the Trojan sidelines.
The third interception of the day for Tom Zach. And Tom Zach was absolutely furious as he came up to question the lack of a call by the official.
Apparently the ruling being just incidental contact on the trip. And SC with a break at the 48 of the Buckeyes. And they try the reverse.
Pass, Nick.
Norman is deep, but so are some Buckeyes, and they almost intercept. Tanner, the wide receiver, Randy Tanner, threw the football, and a lost opportunity for the Buckeyes, William White.
We mentioned Ted Tollner's feeling that they were going to have to go to a few gimmick plays. This obviously one of those. Tanner coming around and throwing what I think was an ill-advised pass. The defense simply not fooled on the play. William White, number 37, had it in his hands. It bounced away as he hits first the receiver and then the ground. But that probably should have been an interception.
White, a freshman from Lima, Ohio, had 3 during the course of the year. Here it is again.
You see how deep? I think that's a mistake. You've got to make it look like a run if you're going to throw that football, or you're not going to fool anybody.
Certainly didn't fool the deep defense. 3 Buckeyes back on the coverage. White shaken a bit. Leaves the game. Fred Crutcher is in for USC at tailback for Ryan Knight.
Ray Jackson in place of White, and let's see if SC doesn't go right after him on this play.
2nd down and 10. The 2 touchdowns scored in the game, both by SC, came after pass interceptions, and this is their 3rd pass interception. We'll see it. Tim Green, and capitalize again. Crutcher ripped down by Giuliani for a loss. Well, he's built like a wrestler, and that was a quick takedown.
Extremely quick, off the nose, in the mold of so many of the nose tackles of the Ohio State Buckeyes. Giuliani has been pretty well controlled by Tom Cox, and Cox, an interesting story too. He's from what, about 60 miles outside of Columbus, Dick? From Xenia, Ohio, I believe. Yeah. The young man who got away from Ohio State.
He's 6'5" and 225. Makes his home down in San Diego. Green, a quick pop, and unable to hang on is Cormier. Boy, he's a good target, though, at 6'6" and 220. So the Buckeye defense has played well in the second half, and in fact throughout the game. When you consider the fact that the only 2 touchdowns, the difference in the game, the 2 pass interceptions deep in Ohio State territory that led to short marches to a touchdown.
We had billed the matchup between that big Ohio State offensive line and Keith Byers and the SC front 7. Well, it's pretty much gone in the favor of SC.
Richardson has kicked very well. Lanise back. This one is short, end over end, but it'll take a good bounce. And Richardson has done that all season long. Get a short kick and a wonderful roll all the way to the 12-yard line. Covered by Sam Ano. 12:45 left in the 4th quarter. The Buckeyes have the ball deep in their own end, down by 11. The youth represented, especially the Ohio State team. Half of the seniors are starters at Southern California, more upperclassmen, but the Buckeye future appears to be mighty bright, and especially a freshman Spielman, the way he's played today.
They have a lot of strength returning next season.
Tom Zach again forced to the pass, going deep downfield, too far for Carter. Now, there are many wonderful memories about this game, going back to when we listened to it on the radio back in the farm in Michigan, but one that I especially enjoyed happened with just a couple years ago, and it involved my partner Merlin Olsen, who was the Grand Marshal, and his son Nathan involved in the coin toss. And there he is, Nathan with the honor, and there's Papa watching.
I think some of our proudest moments watching our children.
Nathan getting big enough to wear a uniform now. He's going to be a player soon.
He's sprouted about 3.5, 4 inches since that time, and quite a few pounds.
Ohio State from its 12 on second down. Byers on a draw play and fighting his way through almost the entire SC team just to gain 4 or 5 yards. Brent Moore, a junior defensive tackle, was there first.
We've talked a great deal about the linebackers for SC. Hope, Del Rio, Bickett, Biggers. They have played extremely well today. That's not unusual. There are 17 Trojan linebackers active in the NFL right at this moment, and I think these 4 are going to have a chance to join them. That was 52. Jack Del Rio doing an excellent job on that play.
3rd and 5. The throw is complete, and a first down to tight end Ed Taggart. He's just a sophomore.
Ohio State cursed again with poor field position. They have started almost every one of their drives deep in their own end of the field, and it's tough to move against an inspired defense when you've got that much green between you and the opposite end zone.
Meanwhile, Southern California scoring after interceptions, 1 at the 45. There you see the influence in the National Football League of the Southern California program, #1 in producing players. Tom Zach back to Taggart for short yardage, hit at the 31-yard line.
Dick, that's not the kind of pass that's going to win this game for them. They've got to go back and get it in the air and get it deep. Penn State, Alabama, Pittsburgh, and UCLA. What a great game UCLA had today. These 2 crosstown rivals, at least if things continue this way, will have a great deal to cheer about.
UCLA, of course, winning the city rights with a win over Southern California in the last Pac-10 game of the year, but USC had already clinched the Rose Bowl bid. This is UCLA's home field. Byers again, paying for every yard he has earned. Since that 50-yard gain in the opening series of the game, Byers has been held well in check by a swarming SC defense. Dave Perling, 95, helping out freshman Rex Moore, a reserve linebacker. 10:41 left in this quarter, the final period, and it's 3rd and a yard and a half for Ohio State, and they aren't going to get too many more possessions, so the Buckeyes have to take advantage of each opportunity. Byers now the all-time Big Ten rusher, 101 yards today, and look at that hit by 56 Serrano, a sophomore from Santa Monica, California.
We just finished talking about the linebackers from USC. And what do? They come up and make another big play. Sam Ono, 56, sticking his head right through there. 54, Neil Hope. Both of those inside linebackers all over the ball carrier. And they're going to go for it on 4th down.
Byers, the best back in the country, are concerned to control him because you can't stop him, says head coach Ted Tollner. Well, he's over 100 yards, only the second back to do that against the SC defense. Now 4th and 1. This could be the game. And Byers has the first down. And he's looking for more. Finally corralled at the 43. 9 yards for Byers. His nickname is Bramble, which seems unusual, although it goes with Byers, Bramble Byers. And it started when he was a freshman. He said, I'm kind of a cross between Jimmy Brown and Earl Campbell. So his teammate says, oh, Brown and Bramble it'll be. And so it is stuck.
Well, he rambled on one of his first carries today. He has not rambled as it approaches now. Is that number accurate, 89 yards? I think he has more than that. We'll check that out for you.
We had earlier report that he was over 100 yards. It is 89 officially. Tom Zach drilling it to Lanise. Is it a catch? No, he trapped it.
Excellent concentration by Lanise and some good play acting as well. Scooped it up on the first bounce. We're looking at it from the opposite side of the field. Now watch Lanise take this on the first hop. It'll just touch the ground. You see it bounce and turn over? Lanise bouncing up to make it look like a catch. doing a little play acting of his own. You see that ball coming off the ground. Sometimes get those. Sometimes the officials will give you one like that.
Good camera coverage there. Harry Coyle calling the shots. The Dean, Larry Cirillo, our producer. And coming up next, it'll be Oklahoma and Washington, number 2 and 3 from the Orange Bowl. Tomczak needs something big, and there's Carter, and he delivers again. Chris Carter, another freshman for Ohio State. Their 2 top players in this game have been freshmen. Spielman on defense, Carter on offense.
Again, Carter showing you great courage. He knows he's going to get blasted on this play, goes up and with excellent body control, able to get that football down. Tomczak running on that play, getting outside. That's something he could not do early in the year as he was recovering from that broken leg.
Big game for Carter and a first down for the Buckeyes. Tomczak again, lots of time. Hits his tight end Taggart, who bounces out of bounds at the 27-yard line. Tommy Haynes made the play. You're wondering about most catches in a Rose Bowl game, as Carter now has 8. Pat Richter, the All-American end for Wisconsin in that storied 42-37 USC-Wisconsin battle back in '63. Richter set the mark with 11, but the most yards held by the immortal Don Hudson, 164, and Carter's only 11 away from the yardage record. Byers. They're grabbing everything they can, and they finally bring him down, and they may have grabbed something they shouldn't.
I think they got a hold of his face mask on that play, and that is not a smart move by the SC defense. They've played smart football all afternoon, but you don't want to make a dumb mistake late in the game when you're up by 11 points.
And added yardage on the penalty. Just to finish the business on the records with Carter. Well, first the announcement.
Face mask, 5 yards against the defense. First down.
At the end of that run, apparently someone's face mask or someone's hand inside of the face mask of Keith Byers. They break the huddle. We won't have a chance to see it. Oh, there it is.
Jerome Tyler.
Jerome Tyler, number 1, the man who had it.
So it's a first down inside the USC 20-yard line. Byers, nothing there at all except red jerseys. 54, Neil Holt, who loves to raise and wants to really get involved in raising Doberman pinchers. He said, it reminds me of myself as a football player, aggressive but graceful, and well, plenty of emphasis on aggressive on that tackle.
He was a delightful guest at the big luncheon they have just prior to the football game here. About 4,000 people at the Kiwanis Club gathering yesterday. It seemed like a long time ago, but he was one of our special guests there, Dick.
Byers now with 94 yards rushing. Tomczak stepping away from the pressure, and then they get him from behind. Is that a fumble?
Yeah. No,
incomplete. They say his arm was going forward.
Boy, I'd like to see that again, because it appeared to me that the ball had been stripped out before his arm started forward. Tommy Haynes blitzing in from his cornerbacking position. You'll see him coming from the right side of the screen now. Now let's see if he gets his hands going. Actually, the left side. I'm sorry. I think that's a fumble. I think he stole that football from Tomczak. Tomczak smart enough to get that arm going forward. You'll see him coming again from the far side. He'll come all the way back around. Yeah, he may have started that throwing motion. Boy, that is a tough call.
Third and long for Tomczak, looking into the end zone. Carter, touchdown! And with it, a new Rose Bowl record, a racing Don Hudson, the Alabama All-American in 1935, as Carter has 171 yards.
Dick, I think they'll go for 2 points on this extra point. That would put them within a field goal of being able to tie this game.
So Carter, a record-setting catch and a touchdown to cap a brilliant performance. And that indeed will be Earl Bruce's choice. Here's Carter's 6. That is also an Ohio State all-time record. 8th catch in a game.
8th touchdown. That's the 8th touchdown on the year.
Touchdown.
Yeah, he had 7 coming in, which tied the all-time record. And imagine, as a freshman, an 8th touchdown to set the all-time record. That's a record that tops a lot of great players.
And Tom Zach on the firing end. He wants to talk over the 2-point try with 7:34 remaining in the 4th quarter. The Buckeyes have pulled within 5 and looking for 2 more. All right, Don Crickey, we'll be looking forward to your call from the Orange Bowl. And of course, last year was a classic. And there's Earl Bruce.
That was right after the play. They scored a touchdown, and someone said, get the extra point team out there. He said, no, we're going to go for 2. Now the play from the end zone, throwing right through the coverage. An excellent pass. And that Chris Carter has shown us some great concentration and catching skill today.
Carter, now a record setter, is wide right. Lanise to the left with Woolridge in the backfield with Tom Zach.
He'll run it in.
2 points. A flag is down in the end zone. We'll check the penalty flag as Earl Bruce watches. And another rather interested spectator. It's against Southern California. It's good for 2. And now it's a field goal game. USC 20, Ohio State 17. Listen to that Buckeye band.
And the Buckeye crowd once again alive and excited. An SC crowd that has been so proud and happy of the way their team has dominated early. Suddenly rather somber here with 7:34 left in the 4th quarter. Tom Zach running it in for the 2-pointer.
7:34 remaining, and it's the Trojans by 3. This crowd at the Rose Bowl sensing something special. The Buckeye fans down below on their feet, and then the Southern California rooters across the way, urged by the USC players, they stand and cheer. 7:34 remaining. Southern California leading by 3. And in case you're wondering about a tie, the odds are long against that for Ohio State. This is the 152nd coaching game for Earl Bruce. He's never been involved in a tie. He doesn't figure he wants to play to be even. Now the kickoff with a lot of time remaining. Watts and Tanner are deep. Spangler kicking short because the penalty called on the 2-point conversion was marked off against SC on the kickoff. They'll take it at the 20-yard line. Now the Buckeye defense has really stopped USC in the second half. Part of that being that Southern California staying on the ground. They moved it most effectively through the air in the first half, but with a lead, Ted Tolner playing it more conservatively. He may have to open up now.
It's not always easy to step back on the accelerator. Once you have backed off and started to decelerate that big machine, it's not easy to get it going again. Earl Bruce, on the other hand, hasn't had his troops going until now. They're finally getting it moving.
Green to Crutcher. And Crutcher to the 26-yard line before Sonny Gordon would come up from his rover spot to make the tackle. 6 yards. Well, Earl Bruce has just seen his team go 88 yards in 14 plays. Took a little over 5 minutes. And it was a very successful journey. 6 plus the 2 to pull within 3.
You see Nate Shaw standing in front of Ted Tolner signaling in the play. One of the Ohio State Buckeyes down on the field. Looking at his right leg. That's Pepper Johnson, and that is the one man you do not want to lose out there. He's the defensive captain, a junior captain, most unusual, and he has handled that responsibility extremely well.
Number 1 tackler on this Buckeye team and an all Big Ten choice. He will be replaced by number 90. You see in the picture Fred Ritter, a sophomore.
Half a dozen of these Ohio State players that got tattoos saying Rose Bowl 1985. I'll talk a little more about that, Dick.
2nd and 4. That's Cola. It appears they have the first down across the 30. So they went to the needle in Southern California.
Well, actually, they had it done back in Columbus. In fact, and I'm not gonna tell on him, but one of the defensive linemen has that tattoo on his hip.
Well, there's got to be a line in there someplace, but I think it's best left alone with 6:50 remaining. It started in 1902 when Fielding Yost brought his great Michigan team west and defeated Stanford 49-0. And now the 71st Rose Bowl game. SC leading 20-17. 6.5 minutes left. Green complete to Kretcher. Hit immediately at the 35-yard line. It sounds like an echo. Chris Spielman with the tackle.
Spielman again and again and again. He had a frustrating freshman season, as we had mentioned. You see him reacting first to the play action and then coming back to cover in the zone, then coming back up after the ball is thrown. That's excellent linebacking play, and what a sure tackler he is. When he gets a hold of you, you go down.
15 tackles for Spielman. That's unofficial. It's 2nd and 5. No gain for Pola. Guess who was there? Along with Kummerow, Spielman again. 14 Kummerow, and also in on the play 59 Giuliani, and you could hear the pads pop again.
That's a play that SC has done extremely well with today. They little counterplay with the fullback going back against the grain.
We have no official attendance figure yet for this 1985 game. There it is, 102,594 under the all-time record. But this series certainly has been one of the most attractive in Rose Bowl history.
Important 3rd down right here.
3rd and a long 5. Green dumps it off to Pola, and he doesn't make a thing. Crucial hit by Dave Morrill, 57.
And Fred Ritter, number 90, who'd gone in for an injured Pepper Johnson, and he may have hurt himself on that play. You'll see it here. SC trying to throw the little pass into the flat.
They don't use this one very often.
They don't. Kennedy Pola, they want him to get the yardage after the fact, but a good hit over there by number 90, Fred Ritter.
Troy Richardson to punt. Lanise back at the Ohio State 25. They figured to get pretty good field position. Takes an Ohio State bounce and covered very quickly. Number 27, Garrett Breland. But Ohio State will have a good position this time. They start from their 35. Remember 1980, same two teams. It came down to the final 4th quarter drive. Charles White. Point would give SC the lead. 1:38 left. Clock is running. White. Touchdown! All right, Don Crickey looking forward to the action from Miami. You can see a big, enthusiastic crowd at the Orange Bowl. And so it is here in Pasadena, where night has fallen. 4:19 left. SC 20, Ohio State with the ball, 17.
Dick, I asked Earl Bruce about the last Rose Bowl trip out here, and he talked about Charles White and SC taking the ball in the final minutes to beat them 17-16. The shoe is on the other foot here. Let's see how Ohio State can do.
And Keith Byers trying to write that same script, and he fights his way to the 42, a gain of 7 when it appeared he'd only get 2.
Wonder if Jack Del Rio is ready for this play. Look at this. Bang. He was ready for Byers, but Byers kept going anyway. Another 4 yards after that smashing hit by Del Rio.
Byers got one run of 50, and it's taken him 19 more to get the other 50. He now has 100 yards. Tom Zach. Lots of time, and then it breaks down, and that is an incomplete pass. No, they say that Tom Zach was down at the 33-yard line. He tried to hit his fullback. Walker, and but they say that he was either in the grass, the whistle had blown, or his knee was down. Here it is.
Let's see if some part of his body had touched the ground. There's no question they had a hold of him, but they won't stop it for that. His knee was on the ground. You saw that right knee touch the ground.
I'd like to see another angle of that. I'm not so certain of that.
You're not so positive, huh?
But it's a big loss for the Buckeyes. 3rd down and long. Tom Zach complete to Lanise. to the 47-yard line. And that's going to be a Buckeye first down.
Tomczak has been throwing a good part of the day to Chris Carter. He goes back to the other side of the field to the converted tailback. Mike Blanese did an excellent job of getting that ball, and he was looking off a long time before he finally turned back to the left and fired that shot to the sideline.
Both wide receivers to the left with Carter on the far side and Lanise in motion. It's Byers breaking a tackle and fighting to the SC 45.
Ohio State fighting two enemies now, the SC offense and the clock. And look at this run by Byers. He refuses to take the tackle. Tim McDonald, Dwayne Jackson, both trying to get him on the ground, and finally do.
Well below his average, but Byers an obvious influence in this final drive. He gets it again in more ways than one as SC gets him, and it was led by number 90, Brian Luft, and the nose tackle, 92, Tony Colorado.
Emotional Ted Toller on the sideline, encouraging his defense. Third and short. 4-down territory here. No sense in stopping now.
The last two games, SC won 17-16 and 18-17. Third and one, Byers. First down, going to be close. He was pulled backwards, and it'll be dependent on the spot. And from that spot, it appears he has the first down.
It looked like he had gone beyond the line, and someone snapped him back. Some good, strong hands. That's Bickett, the All-American linebacker, Dwayne Bickett, number 80. Watch him now. Byers leveling into the line. Bickett will reach over and get a hold of him from behind. Now watch the strength right there with one hand. He snapped Byers back on his back. Now that is amazing.
That's the All-American 6'5", 225, and it is short of the first down by that much. So another pressure play for Earl Bruce and Mike Tomczak, who had a chance during that timeout to measure, to come over and get a free chat with Bruce, but now he better hurry. 1:28 left. Oh, I guess that was an Ohio State timeout. We see the figure on the scoreboard down to one timeout remaining for the Buckeyes with just under a minute and a half left.
Artie Gigantino, the defensive coordinator, has called his entire defense over to the sideline. They're going to talk about it over there. It's amazing, Dick. All of this football, and for Ohio State and their many fans and those watching, it may come down to this one play.
20-17, USC has led almost the entire game. Field goal by Spangler opened the scoring for Ohio State, 3-0. Jordan then tied it with a 51-yard field goal. Green to Cormier, 3-yard touchdown pass, 10-3 SC. Then Green to Ware, 19 yards to make it 17-3. Spangler kicked a 46-yard field goal for the Buckeyes as the gun sounded to end the half to make it 17-6. They traded long field goals in the third quarter, and then a Tomczak to Carter 17-yard touchdown and a two-point conversion run by Tomczak has made it a 20-17 game.
Dick, I was watching Mark Karowitz, the right tackle for Ohio State. He was having trouble with his helmet. Finally, somebody threw him a helmet. I hope it fits. He put it on and went back into the game.
4th and inches. Tomczak sneaking forward. Time called. Well, they'll measure again, undoubtedly.
Of course, in college football, if you have the first down, the clock will stop while they move those sticks. I think they're going to have to measure it again. It's going to be awfully close.
First down. .26 left.
They won't huddle. They go right back to the line of scrimmage. Earl Bruce already having sent the play out.
Way out to the right is Lanise. As they really spread the field, you see Carter on the far side. And Tomczak's going to throw. He's looking for Lanise. What a catch, and then he can't hang on as Tim McDonald stripped it away. You remember it was Lanise against Michigan who made a clutch catch, not unlike that one where he had to twist in midair and pulled it away from the Wolverines that led to this Rose Bowl trip. This was almost a repeat.
Both the outside receivers showing us some acrobatic catches, but I believe McDonald's hand hopped inside to knock it away. How did Tolner feel about that one? All right. Dodged another bullet on the sideline.
Going to have a sore neck looking at that clock. It now says 1:18 left. 2nd and 10. Tomczak hit as he threw the ball, complete to Byers, out of bounds at the 38-yard line. A gain of 5. It'll be 3rd down and 5 with that much time remaining.
SC continues to blitz the linebackers. Del Rio, coming from the right side, was all over Tomczak, who did an excellent job of just getting that football off.
Southern Cal 39-yard line. Tomczak under a blitz, fumbles and recovers at the 47-yard line. Del Rio was there to fall on him, but it was Brent Moore, 97, who stripped the ball away.
The 2 tackles, Moore and Luff, both penetrating on the play, along with Del Rio. Someone's arm just swinging out to knock that ball away. And they're taking the final timeout. Tomczak finally getting to the official and blowing it to a halt. Let's see if we can see who knocked that ball away. Moore right there coming in is reaching in and just with his fingernails knocked that ball out of the hands of Mike Tomczak.
Oh, what a great play by Moore, diving right into the ball. And Ted Tolner has seen his defense come up with a clutch play in the form of Moore, a junior. Oh, he's using a lot of body English over there. And meanwhile,
I think he might be tighter than the players after the game, and there's no way to react to that kind of pain except to look at Earl Bruce and know what must be going through his mind right now.
Well, this 1985 has certainly started with a roar in these bowl games thus far. The Fiesta 2-point game, 39-37, UCLA over the University of Miami. And it's a 3-point game here in Pasadena. 47 seconds left. And a 4th and everything play coming up. 4th down and 15 for the Buckeyes. No timeouts left. And the Orange Bowl with the Washington Huskies and the Sooners of Oklahoma right after this one. Takes over. McDonald knocked it away. Incomplete with 41 seconds left. Southern California has broken the deadlock. Tomczak. Tolner looking for many more ahead. No timeouts for Ohio State. Tim Green hands it to the official. So, in the 39th match between the Pac-10 and the Big Ten, it will be another victory, as has been the wave of wins for the Pacific 10. 14 of the last 16. And they will take the lead 2019. And our outstanding players in this game for USC, Tim Green. For Ohio State, freshman Chris Carter. Each player will receive a special trophy in honor of his achievement. And today's Rose Bowl game in Toyota will donate a total of $1,000 to the general scholarship funds of the two universities. 3, 2, 1. It's USC 20, Ohio State 17. Southern California's success in the Rose Bowl and in postseason play continues. They win by 3. Ohio State with the record-setting performances, but they go out a loser. And we've got another big game ahead. Let's go for a preview to the Orange Bowl.